Lawn Bowls. Wish I found it earlier. What a game.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Tweed Heads Bowls Club for the third and final test of the Queensland New South Wales Open and Under 25 series. Back after lunch, Brian Marshall.
Great to have you on board, Chris. Very exciting afternoon. We have great matchups again this afternoon, as in the previous two test matches. And you'd have to agree, Chris, over the last two test matches, there's been some incredible bowls being played, mate. And the matchups here this afternoon, once again, are outstanding for the ladies and the men. And, of course, both test series are locked. This is the deciding test match. So a live test with a third one with the ladies and men. Can't get better than that, Chris.
Well, it's as big as it gets, isn't it? Queensland, New South Wales, two powerhouse states of the sport of bowls, and locked up all at one apiece. Third and deciding final test match on the indoor too.
Ever so true. Well, they had to move it indoor, ladies and gentlemen, if you've just come on board. We're at Tweed Heads Bowls Club. This morning the decision was made after the cyclone, really non-event as far as rain's concerned, but the wind was absolutely horrendous here this morning. So in their wisdom, the controlling body decided to move the games indoor, and as you saw in the last test match, absolutely outstanding bowls. It was incredible to watch, and of course this test match here, being the deciding one, it doesn't get any better than that, as Chris just said.
It's fair to say that's not a stupid decision to come inside. As we look outside and the trees are bending over sideways, and it's fair to say that the heads will be a lot closer on the indoor, Brian.
Oh, that's for sure, Chris, and it just goes to show you when you get conditions like this on a good, true running green, how wonderful these sportsmen can display their skills, because it's just incredible how close they get. The heads have been very tight, and of course what happens when you get this type of quality field is that just about every bowl the head changes, mate, so you don't get better than this anywhere, my friend.
Absolutely, and look, you can just look, there's definitely rivalry, New South Wales and Queensland, but it's fair to say friendly rivalry. But I have noticed the smiles have gone. There's not many smiles out there on the rinks. That they're playing for keeps now. 1-1 in the Test Series. It all comes down to this game. So players on around their second end at the moment. We've just picked up the feed on around about end number 2. And as our viewing numbers rise, we'll give you a rundown of who you can see on screen and what the matchups are, who the players are. You may just be joining us for the first time.
And if you are, and if you're in the vicinity of Tweed Head Bowls Club, it's a great opportunity to come down and see these players live. Quite a good crowd in, there's still plenty of room though in the southern stand, you could say. But besides that, there's a great deal of interest in this deciding game. And of course, the managers and the selectors of both states are watching very anxiously to see how the players perform. With, of course, the rewards from this is going on to represent their state at the Alley Shield, which will be held in New South Wales in the end of April and early May. And that is the pinnacle, whereas the Australian sides, where every state and territory is represented. Saw a great bowl there from Nathan Rice, but at the moment we're on the girls' rink of Lindsay Clark, of course. Lindsay, of course, is playing against Natasha Scott this afternoon, so you got a great match up there, Chris, with two Commonwealth Games medalists doing battle against each other this afternoon, so it doesn't get much better than that, mate.
Absolutely, and Lindsay Clark just been recalled to the Australian side, so two Australian Jackaroos teammates facing up against each other. So the rink that you can see at the moment for Queensland, Jessie Cattell, Georgia White, Julie Keegan and Lindsay Clark, as Lindsay Clark's bowl's on its way down the green now. And for Natasha Scott's rink for New South Wales, Brianna Smith.
Lindsay just running through the head slightly there, Chris, but her bowl's finishing a great location just behind. Oh, sorry, it was her last bowl. I didn't realise there was another bowl down there. I thought Natasha may have had another bowl, but she hasn't.
So young Brianna Smith of St John's Park, she'll deliver the jack. Coming after her is Genevieve Dowles of Raymond Terrace. Beth Quinlan playing third for Natasha Scott. So that's the rink that you can see on your screens at the moment. As we've said before, Test Series locked up at 1 apiece in both the men and the women. So everything to play for. So Brianna Smith on her backhand. Fairly long end. In fact, pretty much maximum. She finishes behind the jack, and Jessie Cattell will follow her down on her backhand.
You can see these girls have lovely deliveries, don't they? They're so balanced on the mat, get the bowl away beautifully.
So what we need you to do at home, if you're watching this on your phone, on mobile, or watching it at home on the telly, wherever you may be, we need you to hit that share button. And I know we bang on and on about this all the time, and if you're tuning in, you've most likely seen a fair few amount of bowls live streamings over the past year, 2 years. But this is a big one right now, Brian. This is a massive one, locked up at one test apiece. So if there's ever a game of bowls that you want to be watching, it's this one here. So you may have been hesitant to hit that share button in the past. Okay, just another game of bowls. This one ain't. This one is they're playing for keeps now. So you need to hit that share button.
Definitely, and what you said, Chris, is ever so true, because whoever wins this, as I said, the next test they play against each other will be in the Australian sides, and whoever takes this out today has a bit of a mental attitude over the opposing state. So it's the Ali Shield, which is played down in New South Wales this year. I think it's going to be played at the Entrance Club. Lovely part of New South Wales there on the Central Coast, and tell me they've got quality greens, and what better rivalry than to go in having just won a test series against one of your states.
Absolutely. So you can see that camera switched over to the Erin Wilson, Nathan Rice rinks.
Once again though, Chris, again, two Commonwealth Games medalists playing against each other. Quality bowls, my friend.
Absolutely, some superstars in the sport in action. We can do a quick count up of the amount of jackaroos, amount of the Australian representatives that are on the green at the moment, and it'll be in double figures easily.
Yes.
So the rinks that you can see at the moment for Nathan Rice, leading off for Nathan Rice is Jaden Christie of Helensvale. Big Jimmy Anderson at number 2, and Sean Nugget-Ingham operating at number 3 for Nathan Rice. He's squaring off against Maddie Miles, Nathan Dawson, Aaron Tees and Erin Wilson. So just on this particular rink that we're on, there's obviously 8 players on the rink, and at some stage or another throughout their careers, 6 of them have worn the Australian shirt. Good shot coming in here from Nathan Dawson, getting a toucher on the jack, front toucher. Just moving the jack about an inch, and Erin Wilson acknowledges that one. So big Jimmy Anderson now with his unique delivery. He'll look to come down on his backhand.
Jim's got it away. Jim has had an outstanding test series so far. What a great bowl there by Jim. Lovely home there. So didn't get shot, but he's left his bowl something that's workable for the players to come behind him.
Managed to get second shot just a matter of inches behind The jack as Nathan Dawson plugs away again. He's not far away either, getting just down behind into the Jaden Christie bowl.
Yeah, another great bowl there. Look at the head down there.
May have fallen in to count for 2 as well, perhaps. Fantastic head, isn't it?
Well, 6 bowls within a foot. You know, you don't get much better than that.
One of the things that you may have talked about so far this morning is on the carpet indoor at Tweeds is the centre line dominance is so important. If you can get back to the centre line, you're going to make things much, much easier for yourselves. And as you can see with this head here,
Sean's just playing the backhand coming down here, Chris, and looks to be pretty well grassed. So just depending upon his weight.
a bit of interest in this one, but I've given it away just early.
Short, once again, every one of those bowls, the grass is absolutely spot on just about, mate.
Getting back to the centre line, so Aaron T's now on his backhand. There's a bit of a port down there.
Aaron, once again, pretty well grassed. His bowl starts to work. Just depends upon his weight. Not too bad at all by the looks of that, my friend.
Well, what that has done is it's given Shawningham just a bit of a shelf, a bit of a shoulder to come into. He just needs to add a little bit more weight, which he's definitely done with this one. Getting interested in this one, Nathan Rice.
Good bowl there by Sean, just not the result, but he's definitely given his skip something to play to, Chris, by the looks of it. Aaron, of course, got the next bowl. He's, of course, trying to block off any shot Nathan may have after him.
Have a look at the head, Brian.
Yeah, it's absolutely packed in, isn't it? You know what I mean? You don't see that in social bowls on a Saturday afternoon, mate, do you?
No. And here's another one that's not a million miles away, just a touch short.
Just a touch short, mate. But once again, the line's absolutely spot on, so it shows you how much informed these players are. Because the players that play at this level, if they're struggling a little bit, it may be with weight, but if they've got their line right, it doesn't take long for them to adapt.
So Nathan Rice will have the first of the skipper's bowls.
Playing his backhand, of course, Chris, lets his bowl go. Nathan, of course, has had an outstanding series, played some fantastic bowls. Seems to be in the area.
Made a slight connection. Is it good enough for shot?
Not quite. Not quite for shot.
Did get a piece of the jack.
Toucher. It was a toucher, so pretty unlucky there, Chris. But with a head like that, it's pretty hard to get shot out of a head like that, to be truthful with you, mate.
The bowls are so close that we can't even see who may have shot or how many. You literally have to be standing right over the head to know. Erin Wilson just needs to run on this line. Not quite going to fall in, but you know.
Yeah, not far away though, once again. I mean, the head absolutely packed there.
Hard to believe that a bowl that's only, 14 inches away is pretty much irrelevant.
Yes. So Nathan's coming up with his last bowl now, going to play his backhand. At this level, they don't muck around, they're straight on the mat, deliver their bowl. He likes it, he's running after it.
He's very, very close this time.
Oh, what a bowl.
In fact, he used, we said it was irrelevant, but it wasn't. He used that last bowl of Erin Wilson's, just a slight little shoulder.
And it's a toucher. More chalk there, Chris.
So, at my count, that's around about 4 touches so far, and they haven't been raking touches. The furthest, the jack's moved only no more than 4 or 5 inches, and there's 4 touches.
And who knows who'd have shot on that head, mate, I'll tell you that right now. Aaron's let his bowl go, of course. Aaron, of course, won gold at the Commonwealth Games last year.
He's not far away here either, just needs to get around that front one.
Oh, he just missed it.
5 touches. 5 touches and gone down on the head.
Who's got shot?
I have a feeling the last bowl of Nathan Rice's may have been enough for 1.
Yep, no worries. Okay, wait.
So if you just tuned in, that's sort of setting the standard. If that's going to set the standard, what are we in for the rest of the match, Brian?
Well, these quality players, you don't expect them to be too far away, but that was just an outstanding head there, Chris. It just goes to show you the quality and the concentration level of these players who have already had like 3.5 hours on the green this morning, and then they've got to basically just pick it up straight away and go with the same type of concentration level. It's absolutely fantastic. But if you're in the region of the Tweed Heads Bowls Club, please come on down. It's a wonderful facility down here, and they've got some great bowls. You see these players absolutely in person, and if not, well, just watch us on Facebook, but please share it with all your friends. Just watching a bowl go in there from Ray Pearce, and yeah, beautiful bowl by Ray.
So on the particular rink that we're looking at now, the Queensland side, the Nathan Rice rink, has shot out to a 4-0 early lead, and Jaden Christie is right alongside the jack again, and he comes down with his second bowl. It's going to be even better. Make a connection on his last, just slowing him behind. Perfect leading.
Great bowls there by Jaden. Great bowls there by young Jaden. He's got 2 shots there, a perfect lead bowls, one right on the kitty and one just a couple of foot behind. So here comes next bowl down on the forehand, very close here too, Chris.
Fantastic reply from Matty Miles.
Look at that. That's what you call quality, mate.
He's got the shot, and he's in a position that he's almost locked on the Jaden Christie bowl, which looks as though it's going to be punching that one out as well.
Yes, Jimmy needs to get another one pretty close there for the Queenslanders. As you said, with Jimmy's height and that, he has a very unusual delivery, but he has some incredible results with the delivery though. Playing great bowls around the Queensland region for a great number of years, Jimmy Anderson. Of course, Jimmy plays for the very strong Inogra Bowls Club. They made the final of the state pennant playoff last year against Helensvale, and for what I was told, they were very unlucky to lose that game. Chris?
They certainly were. He played sensational himself, Jimmy Anderson. The thing I like about Jimmy Anderson is that you mentioned before, a lot of these players, they don't need time, they don't muck around, they're straight on the mat. People like Erin Wilson, Aaron Sheriff, they jump on the mat, they know the shot they're going to play, and the bowl's out of their hand before you can blink an eye. But Jimmy Anderson is completely different to that. He takes his time. He needs a lot of pre-mat sort of routine, and just makes sure that he gets the bowl as well as he possibly can.
Well, the thing about it though too, like every bowl is exactly the same delivery, doesn't it? As you said, he concentrates, he takes his time, and every bowl is the same delivery. Well, there again, he missed what he was after for them, but he has finished in a very good spot there.
He's missed twice by 6 or 8 inches, but finished in 2 very, very good spots there, Jimmy Anderson. Spots.
Both his bowls could probably be used. Just depending, as you said before though, Chris, if they happen to touch that bowl, that Queensland bowl is likely to go out the head, and they've built a nice little wall there. They've actually got, they got shot with 3rd and 4th shot there, so, one of the bowls just fell over then. So, once again though, Chris, when you look at the line, just about every one of those bowls is down the centre line, mate. So, it goes to show you what incredible concentration level these bowlers have after a great period of time. Been playing at top level all day since 8:30 this morning, and they've come back out here and they just nailed it straight away.
Absolutely, straight onto that centre line, and even though we're seeing another great head developing here, it's a different looking head than the last one. So because there's a bowl right on the jack, actually this is going to change what I was about to say. Shorningham drops one short. I was about to say that no bowl after those front couple have been short, which is very, very disciplined weight control from all the players. It's just a wee mistake there from Sean, but all the players after those first 2 sort of front touching bowls that are locked on the jack, all of them have just been under a metre of weight past the jack. As here's another one here. He's going to make connection, is he? He's just sliding. In fact, he may have got the shot with that one. Tipping the Jaden Christie bowl over.
Very unlucky with that, Chris. He played that with such great weight. Just probably missed the perfect shot by about 1/4 of an inch,
That's all, and he's made a slight adjustment here, Shorningham.
Sean Ingham played a great bowl here. Like that's what happens with the quality of the players that we have here. Like, not a bad bowl, just a nasty result, and of course you punish straight away, so you're now 2 down.
Well, before he played his last bowl, Aaron Teasey was holding shot. Now he finds himself 2 down.
Be interesting to see what hand he plays here, though. I'd say they're probably trying to sit the bowl through the head. If he moves it a couple foot there, Chris, he could end up with 2 shots, maybe those 2 red catches there in the back.
Absolutely, just looks to
He's
be on.
not far away, but he's just a bit wide, I think.
Just on the wide side, but that actually, it's flicked through to not a bad home. He's as I've said, with the centre line dominance, all the players finishing along that centre line, but where the jack's angled now, perhaps that bowl sticking out to the side a bit may come into play.
Yeah, I'd still prefer to be in Nathan's position than Aaron. They've got to play the perfect bowl to get the result, but if anyone's capable of doing that, it's definitely the Commonwealth Games gold medalist. He's no slouch, that boy.
Absolutely. So Nathan Rice on his forehand. Players not looking massively enthused about this one, but it'll come
I think he's gone
behind.
for a bit of cover there, Chris, by the looks of that. Just to make sure that Aaron's got to change his weight.
So prior to that bowl, New South Wales held the Bacchus 2, but Queensland now hold that position, have the closest bowl to the ditch with that last one from Rice.
Well, as you see with that last bowl there, Chris, it made Aaron stop halfway down the green and turn around and rethink what shot he's going to play.
Conditions of play for all the viewers at home, Brian. What happens on a killed end, mate?
Mate, it's replayed.
Proper rules, good to see.
Proper rules. Aaron likes it. He's in the area. Oh. He got the result. He's actually put it out in the open, but I'd say he's probably still 2 down.
Well, believe it or not, even though he got a little bit lucky, that was probably where he was sort of after the jack to go. It's just a matter of how far the jack was going to go, and it went to where 2 Queensland bowls
What a great bowl here by Nathan Rice, mate. What a great bowl there. Aaron would be happy though, Chris, because he's actually given himself the opportunity of possibly making 3 shots if he trails the kitty. Back to his Aaron Tease's white bowl at the back there. And they also have another catcher just back there, just really behind that white bowl. So Aaron looking at drawing on the forehand.
So that's what they're in discussion about. Aaron Tease was pretty keen to play that shot that you called, Brian. I think that's what they're reverting to. So just looking to draw with a metre or half a metre away, just looking to trail the jack around the corner.
He's got it pretty well grasped. I must admit his teammates are getting pretty excited here.
Just needs to negotiate his way around this front one here. Doesn't quite. Gee whiz, he had perfect weight down to it as well.
1 down though. He changed the head. He was 2 down, so he's once again a great skips bowl. If you can cut them down, if not to get shot, you've done your job, Chris.
So another single for Nathan Rice, and they stretch their lead to 5-0 early on.
Looking, Jaden about to play his first bowl. Been leading up very well for this team.
They've played 4 completed ends so far in this particular match, and Jaden Christie hasn't had one further away than half a metre, I'd suggest.
Yeah, he's been leading up pretty well for him, that's for sure, Chris. He's probably go close to being one of the youngest players in the squad too at the same time. He's got age on his side, that's for sure. He's only just, I think he's still in the under-25 squad. He's still eligible to play in that.
Absolutely, and been on the side for a couple of years now after coming up from Victoria.
And once again, you can see the quality of these 2 players, the way they set up the head, Chris. Like, I mean, both bowls are really in the area for good lead bowls.
Well, he's drawn a toucher with his first bowl again, Jaden, and he likes his reply as well, likes his second one, falling in just in behind. That's sensational leading, isn't it? Just in fact, he's drawn another toucher.
2 touches, 2 bowls, 2 touches. Don't get much better than that, my friend.
In saying that, Matty Miles hasn't been put off by that. He's if your opposition leads on fire, you don't need to be drawing touches yourself. You just got to be setting up the head. And he's managed to do that with one of his bowls, just dropping this particular one short, but he does have one in a good home. How much easier does your job become if you're Jimmy Anderson here when your lead's got 2 touches right on it?
I think you'll find the way Jimmy's played over the last 2 test matches, mate, he wanted to get one just in behind, probably beat that first bowl of Matty's, I assume, just to make sure that if they do trail it, they're not going to be in trouble. And it looks as though Jimmy's not far away from achieving that, mate.
He won't be disappointed with that.
No,
Nathan
great
Rice.
home. Great home, mate. It's the head setting up just nicely for Queensland at the moment. You 2 shots and a good shot just in behind.
So this live stream of the New South Wales Queensland Test brought to you by Bowls Queensland, and we must thank our sponsors, Brian, our sponsors over the past couple of days.
They certainly have been, mate. You can't run these events without sponsors, and Bowls Queensland has some great relationships with our sponsors. You've got Mullins Lawyers, BCIB, Henselite Bowls, Nanda Motors Mazda, Club Super, and of course Queensland Government all make these events possible. So for their sponsorship, Bowls Queensland is very, very grateful, I can assure you. And Jimmy Anderson again just played a great bowl here. He's just going to come inside that back one. So that's 2 very good bowls there by Jimmy. His shots don't count, but he set the head up absolutely beautiful. Where now they're calling their second to drive. And now his last bowl probably counts for 3rd shot, Chris.
Absolutely. So 3 shots to Queensland here and the back bowl. And what Sean Ingham and Nathan Rice will be discussing here is where to put this bowl of Ingham's. So what he doesn't want to do is give him another one sort of right next to it and make a target. All 3 bowls are right down the centre line, all 3 counting shots. So he's just trying to make things as difficult as he can for New South Wales here, Sean Ingham. He'd like to count, I guess, perhaps himself, but in a good counting position. So Ingham on his backhand.
Don't think Sean likes it very much by the looks of it, mate. He's could be blowing a bit of smoke there, he seems to think. He don't think he just pushed it far enough.
Well, the commentary position is not too far away from where they're delivering the bowl on the mat, and he didn't get that one away at all well here, as Aaron Tees is going to wind up with a big smack.
And Sean would classify that first bowl now as a positional bowl, I assume, Chris. But definitely when Aaron lets fly, he doesn't hold back at all, mate.
He didn't hold back with that one. That wasn't some half-assed runner. He had a fair smack at that. So it'll be interesting to see where this one finishes. And it's probably given Tees a bit of a target funnel down there.
He's now changed to his backhand, of course, as he winds up. Aaron just let fly.
Closer this time. No. So
you definitely wouldn't want that to run into your ankle, mate. That's for sure. It'd do some damage. You'd be on crutches for a while. That's for sure.
So unless Nathan Rice does something very strange here, I can't see anything else other than an Erin Wilson weighted shot when he steps up to the mat.
Well, particularly if he's called his third on 2 drives, you think that he'd have to play the same shot, wouldn't you?
So just negotiating around the Sean Ingham bolt here, and he's going to count as well. He's going to count.
Aaron on the mat, he's not mucking around. Yep, playing with weight. He likes it, he's looking at it. So he just got the result that he was after.
Yeah, on target there, Erin Wilson. Didn't play with as much weight as the Aaron T's drive, but obviously enough to kill there, and a good shot. Very precise with his forehand fast runner. So Jaden Christie now fairly long end.
Jaden, of course, has been leading up very, very well for this team. And we'll see how he goes this end, coming back towards what you classify the clubhouse end of Tweed Heads Bowls Club. So he's got it pretty well grassed, Chris.
He's not far away again. Gee whiz, he's been very, very impressive so far, young Jaden Christie.
Yeah, that's a great start, mate. You look at the rink beside, which the people can't see at the moment, but the head over there is absolutely packed also. It's absolutely incredible. Quality is really starting to show. Like, they've had one test match on the indoor, and the second test match they're just showing the sheer quality that they can play with, without the wind and without the conditions which you get on the outside. Of course, playing on grass, Chris, as you're fully aware of, mate, you get a bit of cloud cover come over, and of course you've got to adjust your grass, where Jaden, of course, under these conditions is leading up superbly for Nathan.
There's that age-old argument, the grass greens versus a synthetic, and I don't think that argument will ever die down. But in saying that, when conditions are like this outside, how good is it to be able to have facilities like this at your disposal, to be able to come inside and look at the standard of the bowls that's being produced?
Well, that's ever so true with quality players like this, though, where they've got no wind, they've got no cloud cover, no rain to contend with. This is the quality they can perform at the highest level to show their skills, and these people have spent hours getting to this level, and it's just an absolute credit to them to watch them perform at this level. Jimmy's coming down on the backhand and just set a bowl through for 2 shots. Great bowl there once again by Jim Anderson, who's been playing great bowls for the last couple of days. Because the test series are very, very close, as we're fully aware. The ladies and men are both tied up at 1 set apiece. So it doesn't get any better than this at this level. 2 states playing against each other. They have great rivalry. A great bowl here by New South Wales. Great bowl.
Nathan Dawson there, drawing a side toucher.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful bowl there, mate. Bit of pressure on him too, a couple down, and to be able to produce that's first class, isn't it?
So what we do like from the viewers at home, we like to get fairly interactive and have a yak with you guys. So feel free to comment in your thoughts if you want to let us know anything. Get your fingers out onto those keyboards and we can see your comments coming in thick and fast.
Great bowl there by Jimmy Anderson. Just set that toucher out for 2 shots by Jim. No, that really was a quality bowl, Chris. Played it with magnificent weight, just to sit the bowl through the head. This one's not far away neither, my friend. Probably just a little bit long. But got the best backward again there, mate, so gives their skip something to aim for.
As we welcome in Anthony Flapper. Thanks for joining us, Anthony. Anthony Flapper of the Essendon Club in Melbourne.
I'm sure the weather in Melbourne, Chris, would be far superior than up here today, in my opinion.
So Sean Ingham just looking for a bit of cover out the side of the rink, and his teammates very happy with that one. Just about 2 metres behind the jack. In a good catching position, splitting up a couple of New South Wales bowls.
Yeah, very good home there, isn't it? It's, he could have gone possibly 3 down there if there's contact made on this, and Aaron Teeson's liking this. He's following it down. He's going to try to make contact with the front bowl, which he has done. And he's made 1 shot out of it, I think, by the looks of that. Maybe 2. Very hard shot here by Sean. He's just got to come around that front bowl of Jimmy's, which is a toucher, so it's very much a good bowl. Well, that's good. He's actually given his skip best backward, so that's quite good. Good to have Jaime Nordoff on board.
So welcome to Ryan Marston. Thank you for joining us, Ryan. Just a bit of a hush over the rinks at the moment. So Erin T's now on his forehand.
Erin playing his second bowl. Just a bit narrow there by the looks of it. So Nathan to go to the head.
So pushing 200 viewers here, and if you've just joined us, you're watching the third and deciding test match between Queensland and New South Wales, live from Tweed Heads. Women and men both locked up at one test apiece. So everything to play for here, Brian Marshall.
It is, and for the ladies' scores over there too, Chris, on the 15th end, it's Queensland 13, New South Wales 13. So once again, it's neck and neck. So what
literally could not get any tighter.
It's absolutely pretty to watch. I can't see the score for the men. Unfortunately, there's people standing in the way. But the score's up there in front of you. Well, a little bit unlucky there. Sorry, a bit of luck there for Nathan Rice, I should say. But the men's score, of course, is Queensland 15, New South Wales 12. But going on by the first two test matches, I'll guarantee you it'll go down to the last couple of bowls being played, which is basically what you expect when you have quality players like this out here. Aaron's having a bit of a talk to Erin Tees about the shot to play. Aaron's caught him on a shot, but Tees's caught him on a shot, and Aaron's not happy with it, so he wants to play the forehand. Which you can see why there too, Chris, because Aaron has a couple of bowls on that side of the rink. If he picks up kitty and doesn't move it too far, he'd probably end up with 3 shots. So
we have cracked the 200 viewer mark, so fantastic, and thank you all for joining us live from Tweed Heads Bowls Club, just over the border, just into New South Wales territory, hosted by Bowls Queensland Note, so a home series for the Queenslanders.
Nathan just been called by Sean Ingham there, Chris, that if Aaron plays the shot that he's after and gets it out there, that they'll be 2 down. So Sean's asking Nathan to give him a bit of cover on that side of the rink.
So for you viewers at home, where you can see the foot of Sean Ingham's, that's the jack for Nathan Rice, and he's gone pretty close to it, so they'll be reasonably happy with that one.
Yeah, maybe just a couple of foot too long, but for us players that play every fortnight or so, I'd be more than happy with that one, Chris, I can assure you. But, Aaron, of course, is having a very good look at the head, realising how important this shot is, because Aaron at the moment on the 4th end's 5-0 down to Nathan. And he has the opportunity here. And Aaron's toying with the idea of changing his shot completely. I think he's looking to play the shot which... No, he and Aaron are having a bit of a discussion about this. Having a real good look at it. He doesn't like it. He's walking back to the head. And Aaron Tees just said, you play with whatever you're comfortable with, mate.
Very kind words there from Mark Casey. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that.
Aaron's made his mind up. He's going back. He's still having a good look at the head as he turns, but he's turned around, made his mind up. I can guarantee you he won't spend much time on the mat, Chris. He'll turn around and play the bowl. Giving it a great deal of thought. There he is. He looks to be in the area. Can't be too far away. Oh, just missed it wide.
He wasn't far away from catching the outside edge of that bowl and punching it in.
No, so oh, okay, not too sure.
Just keep going.
Yeah. So we're going pretty good there, as you saw. Once again, Jaden Christie once again leading up absolutely superbly and setting up the head for that rink, which he has done repeatedly. So let fly with his first one. And again, there's young Jaden. He's probably 18 inches behind the jack there. Crisper is probably the worst bowl he's played in since the game started.
He's been on fire. Jaden Christie's been player of the match so far. Of course, still a long way to go, but he's in form.
Beautiful bowl there too. Here's New South Wales. We're Jaden with his next bowl.
And he's good enough for shot there.
Corrected beautifully there, Chris. Is a magnificent correction in that one, mate.
We've spoken about it already, Brian. The centre line dominance on the indoor here is so important, and he hasn't hung any bowls out wide or spun them narrow. Every bowl from Jaden Christie has been right bang on the centre line.
But what a great reply that was. I mean, the New South Wales lead has been under the hammer playing against Jaden, but he has played some great bowls also. Jimmy, of course, is going to play his backhand, playing away from what we classify as the clubhouse end. Jimmy just let his bowl go. Pretty well pointed too, Chris, by the looks of it. Very well grasped.
Just needs to hurry. He's on a seriously good track here, and it's going to be the shot.
Oh, what a great bowl there by Jimmy Anderson. He only had a foot to draw it in, and has played a cracker.
So Nathan Dawson following him down. Just looks to be on the shy side.
Again, though, Chris, look at that grass. Every bowl on the rink, absolutely on the centre line. Jimmy, of course, got his second bowl now, also playing the backhand once again. Same delivery, every time. Played it pretty well once again too.
There's only 2 bowls past the jack, and they both belong to Queensland at this stage and holding. So in a fairly good position so far on this end as Nathan Dawson comes on down in his backhand.
Good looking bowl here.
That's going to help the situation, Brian.
Great bowl there, Chris. Once again, under pressure. A great bowl. Touch you with it too, mate.
We welcome in Sean Parnas. Thank you for joining us, Sean. So if your internet is cutting in and out, if the feed is having a bit of delay and broadcast interruption problems, please stick with us. We're doing our very best to we're crossing our fingers with the internet gods, but stick with us.
I think you've got to understand that the people aren't down here. As we look outside this wonderful indoor green at Tweed Heads, you'll see that the trees are bending over sideways, so it's blowing a gale. This is what's happening down here, so we're having a few little issues every now and again with the internet, but I can guarantee our technician advisor is well and truly onto it. Erin just a bit long with that one.
So Sean Ingham now on his backhand, just looking to arrive down into the shot bowl. He looks to be narrow with that one.
Yep.
As we're joined by one of Melbourne's very best, Frank Koslovich. Thank you, Frankie. I hope you're enjoying the coverage. So Aaron T's now not too far away from the jack here, Brian. He's drawn a toucher.
Wonderful bowl there by Aaron.
And he's changed the head up there because it was the shot bowl was sticking out and looking pretty inviting for Nathan Rice, but it's definitely changed the head, and he'll have to be changing the shot that he initially thought he was going to be playing.
No, that's for sure. It was a great shot. Now Nathan, of course, will draw on his forehand. On the mat, he's delivered his bowl. He's watching it very closely.
A fair amount of weight here. Makes a connection and changes the head up. May have opened things up for himself a little bit better with for his last bowl.
Aaron now having a good look at the head. Having a good look. Aaron Tees has called in a play on his backhand. There's a nice little gap through there if he plays the bowl and he's asked to play. So
Okay.
Aaron's gone to the backhand. Yep. Listening to his third there, Chris. Looks to have played it pretty well too.
Just needs to negotiate a couple of bowls and flicks one of his own up.
Yep.
So Nathan Rice now. Wee bit of weight on the forehand. He likes it. He's not a million miles away. Watching with interest the Queensland side, and he's punched it through onto the jack and may have got shot out of it. So I suggest that Jaden Christie bowl.
It could be Jaden's bowl there, Chris. There seem to be a couple of sets of yellow bowls, and I'm pretty sure that's where Jaden's first bowl finished up, but I think Aaron's pretty comfortable with the shot. He's going to try and set this bowl out of the head.
So a fair amount of weight down on the backhand now from Erin Wilson. Looks to be in some sort of area.
Just got the edge of a bowl.
Just got the feather off one of the short ones. If he missed that, the body language of Aaron Tees and the rest of the New South Wales boys was that he was going to be close. So as we look at, to one of the rinks alongside here, we can tell you that New South Wales Ray Pearce has shot out to a big lead over former teammate Aaron Sheriff. Ray Pearce 17, Aaron Sheriff 4 after 8 completed ends. So it looks as though our internet issues are under control now.
Jaden, of course, playing his first bowl.
Welcome to Reed Burgess. Jaden Christie not far away again and right on the centre line. Trust the family enjoyed the M&M concert the other night. Rito. Matty Miles, a great reply here. He's drawn just in behind the jack.
But I've got no screen.
Welcoming viewers from all around the world. Stidich. Welcome from South Africa, Stidich. Carmel Gibbs right behind the Queensland side. Naturally. So welcome to David Baker. And I can tell you your son has just let his bowl go on the backhand on the adjacent rink, David. Currently 13 shots down Sean Baker operating as third for Aaron Sheriff. Still early days though.
Of course, Aaron playing against Ray Pearce, and Ray Pearce is the New South Wales Bowler of the Year. Got the award this week, Chris, at the New South Wales Bowling Association presentation night. Great bowl here by Jimmy Anderson. Unlucky to just only one down, but he was two down. He just drew a toucher, but Kenny just went a little bit too far, but a great bowl.
Rewarded with selection in the Australian side for the Asia Pacific Championships, and hard to argue with his inclusion in the side.
Had a great bowl there by New South Wales.
At the expense, though, I'm not sure how much it's been discussed over the past week or couple of days, Brian, at the expense of the Commonwealth Games gold medalist.
Well, I must admit I did watch the trials, and Ray played sensational bowls at the trials, which was played at Helensvale and Musgrave Hill and Broadbeach, and they're the three venues, of course, for those games. What a great bowl by Jimmy Anderson there, just trailed the kitty.
Trailed the jack around the corner for three, so Jimmy Anderson holding shot right next to the jack of the two yellow bowls of Jaden Christie. 1, 2, 3 for Queensland.
Well, that was a wonderful bowl, Chris, because that was a resting toucher, and he just had to draw that off the bowl, so it was an outstanding bowl.
So Nathan Dawson here on his forehand. Looks like he's going to slide on past. And Shorningham in a good position here. How good's the feeling when you walk back to the mat holding three? Looking to add and only improve the situation for your side.
Absolutely, my friend.
Look, the Australian selectors, they have the luxury. There's so many good players to choose from, and you know, can't argue with the selection of Ray Pearce. There's just so many good players, Brian.
Well, it's true, and that's a fact for those of you who aren't here. But a person who's very strategically placed, but out of the way is Kelvin Kirko, who is an Australian selector, who's here today watching the men and the girls perform. So it goes to show you that even if they pick the Australian team, the selectors are still out there looking at bowlers, Chris.
Absolutely, they can never rest on their laurels, the players. So Shorningham made his first bowl count, and Aaron T's now drawing to save. Looks like he's a touch overweight, and Queensland holding 4, looking to make it 5 now. Nathan Rice suggesting his weight was absolutely perfect. He'd love just to get another little touch on the jack here and just trail it 6 or 8 inches for a count of 5 here. Shorningham very, very close here. Just behind, and he won't be unhappy with that either.
It's very good home there, Chris, that's for sure.
So big bowl here from Aaron Tees. If you've
Aaron playing his forehand.
Been watching for a little while, Brian, of course, the Queensland side 6-0 up, and the number 3 Aaron Tees, as he slides past here, and the skipper Erin Wilson have played a lot of weighted shots in the early part of this match, and now they're being forced to draw just how the head's set up. So you're playing lots of weight. Probably not a surprise to see Aaron Tees there, just a metre over.
No, that's for sure. Aaron just making sure that he reached the head, and of course, still once again though, Chris, as we keep saying, that the importance on playing on the carpet and going back to the centre line, but Aaron's both bowls are right on the line though, mate.
Nathan Rice asking it to drop down here, and he's tucked in nicely behind. He won't be too disappointed about that. Probably counts as well. So Erin Wilson now, a couple of massive bowls, 5 down.
I think he's a bit short, mate.
I think he's not going to do any damage with that one. It's going to be the shortest bowl in the rink.
There once again though too, Chris, it just goes to show you, even at the highest level, when players are put under pressure, sooner or later they've got to play one bad bowl.
Absolutely. So the bowl of Jimmy Anderson's. The second bowl of Jimmy Anderson has put Queensland in this position, holding 5. Nathan Rice here looking to make it 6. 1 bowl to come from New South Wales. Only needs to run to count. And he's in the count.
Well, I might give Erin something to work off there, though. Chris, if he's a bit wide with reasonable weight, he could easily get probably second shot out of that, I reckon, with that.
There are a lot of eyes on this bowl. All the other rinks are aware of what the situation is. Erin Wilson he's a bit more interested about this one. Needs to get past that front stuff.
He's just going to crash.
Well,
he's probably taken some out there, though, Chris.
May have reduced the count by 1. I would suggest 5 in a measure here. Aaron T's doing the finger measure. So 2, 3,
4, 5. Measuring for 6 by the looks of it, Chris.
So we are privileged to be joined by Clinton Bailey. So a bit of a hush goes over the Tweed indoor here as all the other rinks are alongside, are aware that 5 has been taken out already. It looks like he reduced the count by 1. So 5 shots to Nathan Rice, and they take an 11-0 lead. Still very, very close here overall, Brian, in both the men's and ladies.
Well, it is. Some great bowls being played by both teams, as you're fully aware. And if you're in the Tweed Heads region, want to come down, drop into Tweed Heads Bowls Club on the indoor. Definitely won't get wet. There's definitely no wind in here. And I can guarantee you, to see these players play in person, it's absolutely fantastic to watch. So if you're down here, if you're not down here and you're watching on your Facebook, or you're at work or at home, share it so other people can see it. Jaden, once again, his first bowl is probably about 18 inches behind the kitty.
Yes, Dermot, they are human. They are human. Not all bowlers can be back touches, mate, as we saw from Erin Wilson there, as we're joined by Andrew Curtin. Thank you for joining us, the big giraffe. Are you in Nelson this weekend, mate, playing in Nelson? Let us know.
That was surprising to see that, Chris, to see Jaden change his hand there, where he's had so much success on the other hand.
So if you've just joined us, we're into the third and final deciding test match between New South Wales and Queensland, live from Tweed Heads. Men's and women's locked up at 1-1.
Yes, deciding test match. It doesn't get any more better than this, does it, against two great rivals.
How was the steak, by the way, Brian? How was the lunch, mate?
Absolutely beautiful, mate. Food down here is always excellent. Tweed Heads Bowls Club. And haven't they looked after the live streaming team the last few days? It's been an absolute pleasure to be here.
So Nathan Dawson on his back end, and I tell you what, he hasn't been a million miles away with his efforts so far. A touch wide with that one, and that's the first time we've really seen someone struggle for line.
Yes, it is unusual with the quality of players, isn't it? You know what I mean?
As we welcome in Michaela Bailey-Nelson. Thank you for joining us, Michaela. And good to see that your self-imposed exile from Surfers Paradise lasted about 5 days. Made the comment that you were never going clubbing again, and here you are out on another weeknight, so no surprises there.
Quite a reasonable crowd starting to build there, Chris. A lot of people in behind watching. A lot of people in the stand down the other end, and of course around the green there's a lot of people taking up great seating to watch this great contest.
So we must once again thank our sponsors for making this possible. The Bowls Queensland live streaming proudly sponsored by Mullins Lawyers, BCIB Insurance, the Queensland Government, Henselite, of course, Bowls Manufacturer, the Choice of Champions, Club Super, and Nunda Mitsubishi. Thank you all for making this possible.
That's for sure, Chris. These events can't be run unless you have generous sponsors, and Bowls Queensland appreciates every one of them, as does the Gold Coast District. We appreciate our sponsor of our live streaming, which is Niagara Medical Equipment. You have any aches or pains or arthritis or anything you require, I suggest that you contact Niagara, because their equipment is first class, and all of their equipment has been approved by the Australian Medical Association. So it's been approved by all of the experts. And here we are, Sean Ingham playing his forehand. Got everybody down there very interested in it. Pulled up a little bit short, that's all, just caught a bowl.
So Brian, it's all well and good to, just thank the sponsors, but we actually want you to support them.
That's so true, Chris.
And I can promise you, and this is from first-hand experience, Niagara Therapy. I woke up one day and, just one of those days where you sleep, one of those nights where you sleep uncomfortably on your neck, wake up the next day and you can't move it. Well, a little bit of therapy, a little bit of massage from some of the equipment from Niagara, and it was as good as new. It was unbelievable, like magic. Pretty sure Mark Casey he's got a bit of experience with that too. There was, I think, the pennant finals last year. Case rocked up, 8:30, trial ends, could not move, could not bend down to deliver the bowl. Went inside, a little 15-minute treatment from Niagara, and he was good as gold. As we're joined by Brett Davis, thank you for joining us. Let us know what we need you to do. We need you to let us know where you're watching from. Are you a Queenslander? Are you a New South Welshman? So we've got two things we need you to do as a viewer. We need you to comment and let us know where you're watching from and who you're supporting. And we also want, if you're supporting Queensland, we want you to hit that love button, hit that love heart button if you're backing the Queensland Maroons, or if you're liking the Blues, if you're liking the New South Wales side, we want you to hit that laughy ha-ha emoji. So somewhere on your screen there, on your phone or on your laptop, I want you to hit those emojis. The love heart for Queensland, the maroon red love heart, and the laughy ha-ha emoji for New South Wales. Let us know who you're supporting. Get involved.
For those of you who don't know the scores, Nathan just played a great bowl there on his rink. But Aaron's still got another bowl to play, of course. But at the moment, it is Queensland 24, New South Wales 22. And I'll give you an updated ladies' score once everybody gets out of the way. Unfortunately, the players have a tendency of standing right where you don't want them to stand. But we'll get to it very shortly when a few of the players move.
Well, how good's this on your screen at the moment, Brian? We have a roving camera that is on the rink.
Yes.
So we've now moved over to the Aaron Sheriff versus Ray Pearce rink as Sean Baker lines up on his backhand, drawing on a relatively short end.
Sean, of course, is from the very strong Victoria Point Club in the Gateway District, which is just north of the Gold Coast. Very, very strong club, Vicky Point, and that's your fact. Sean works there and he's built a wonderful squad of players in the Premier League competition up there.
Yeah, he's certainly done a magnificent job since he's been there in a couple of years, Sean Baker. So Ray Pearce, 18, Aaron Sheriff 5 after 10 completed ends, as David Ferguson, playing third for Ray Pearce, lets his go on the backhand.
You've got Davis played a great bowl there. He's probably just put another one into the count. Oh no, probably no. Sorry, White bowls to have second shot there.
David Ferguson playing with those white speckled Henselite Dreamline XGs.
Uses them very well, just quietly.
Well, former Australian number 1.
Also plays for the strong Eastbourne club in New Zealand in the Helensvale five-a-side. And, I could be wrong, but I think they won it last year, if I remember correctly, which is an incredible five-a-side competition Helensvale hosts, and everybody looks forward to going and watching some of the quality players play there.
Best tournament in the world, in my opinion.
Well, there's no easy games there, Chris. I can assure you of that. Like, you get 20 or 22 teams there of absolute quality players, mate.
Very, very difficult tournament to win, and the Eastbourne side have finished runner-up in 2017 and winners in 2018. David Ferguson operating as their marquee player. He's stepping in as a marquee player for the Broadbeach Bulls in the Queensland Premier League. Hasn't played too many games, but he's on their roster.
Sean and Aaron just having a look, having a bit of a chinwag.
So thank you for those comments coming in, letting us know where you're watching from and who you're supporting. Reg Grocott from Kalanga.
Good little club just up in the Moreton Bay district. Now a new district, used to be in the Brisbane North district, Kalanga.
So seeing great vision here, the camera on the rink right over the top of the head as we see Aaron Sheriff
Playing this bowl, the opportunity here of making a few shots if he gets it right. Great try by Aaron, but just not quite there. Ray, of course, has another bowl to play.
Got about 4 or 5 inches of room to add another shot here, Ray Pearce. Not quite able to do so. So 1 shot to New South Wales, and they extend their lead to 19 shots to 5 after 11 ends.
Now in the ladies' rink, I should say, the ladies' rink, on the 24th end, it's New South Wales 24, Queensland 19. So New South Wales shot away to a bit of a lead there since the last time we were able to update that, but at the Tweed Indoor where we're sitting, it's way over the other side, and we have 8 rinks in front of us, so it's pretty easily to get blocked, as Chris can vouch for that. Very hard to see the scoreboards at times, particularly when there's scores on. Sean's just playing a bowl here, he's a couple down. Just a little bit wide with that, but finished in a pretty good home.
It must be said, it is difficult when the fours discipline's being played, or the sides disciplines. Lots and lots of players on the heads, and can often be difficult to see heads and camera angles and scoreboards and all those sorts of things. So we are doing our very, very best
to keep you updated. Aaron just played a great bowl there. It may have made 2 out of it by the looks of it, Chris. But Sean coming down on the backhand. Very interesting this the players are. He just missed it.
As we welcome in Daryl Johnson. Thank you for watching, Daryl Johnson of Musgrave Hill, one of the board directors there. Also Carla Krasanik, watching lots of her Australian Jackaroos teammates here at Tweed Heads. And congratulations on your continued selection, Carla.
Good bowl by Aaron, just pulled up a little bit short. But watching the other rink over there of Michael Keegan, of course, has got a great shot there of them bowls coming down the rink. And Matt Lucas, lead, just playing his second bowl. Matt was a bit short with his first one. So Corey Wedlock on the mat now. I can tell you on the Rinkley side, Nathan Rice was 2 down. He just played an absolute magnificent draw shot to come out with shot. Now Corey looks as though he's delivered this very well. He's on his forehand and he's played a great bowl. But looks at it for 2 shots.
So if you're just joining us and wondering what it is that you're watching or who you're listening to, you are with Brian Marshall and Chris Lalive here live at Tweed Heads, New South Wales versus Queensland Test Series. Men and women both locked up at 1 apiece here. This is the 3rd and deciding test match. Everything to play for.
Anthony Keepy just played a reasonable bowl over on that other rink. It looks as though he may have picked up second shot by the looks of it, Chris. So got another bowl to go to, affectionately known as Chucky. Nathan just played his second bowl. Nathan has played another great bowl there, Chris. He's just drawn a resting toucher.
He's drawn 2 shots within 4 inches, hasn't he? So the rink that's on the screen now for Queensland. We're watching Matthew Lucas, Anthony Keepy, Sean Baker and Aaron Sheriff. They're squaring off against Billy Johnson, Corey Wedlock, David Ferguson and Ray Pearce. And that is the match that is on your screen at the moment. Ray Pearce currently 19 shots to 5 up after 11 ends.
And on the ladies' game over there, Chris, on the 26th end, it's Queensland 21, New South Wales 25. So again, it's tightening up slightly. I'm sure a few nerves will be starting to creep in with a few of the players now. Sean Baker goes back to play his bowl with a great shot there by Michael Coogan. He's doing a great job there.
So Sean Baker now on his backhand. Dreamline XG just looks to be cutting underneath the head and won't alter proceedings too much.
And in the men, Chris, just let you know that on the 27th end, it's Queensland 29, New South Wales 24. So not quite halfway through the game yet. And some incredible bowls being played, mate.
Wow, it's unbelievable. 1 test each, and there's 5 shots in the men's game and 4 shots in the women's.
Why doesn't that surprise me, what we've seen the last 2 days?
So we're set for a grandstand finish here as we're joined by Benny Moorthorpe, one of Cabramatta's finest. He'll be participating in the UBC, so Mark Casey's UBC events set to kickstart very, very shortly, and a lot of these players on this rink are involved. So Sean Baker, great shot there from Bakes, and he's managed to get the shot there for Queensland.
Michael, of course, doing the mobile camera work over there, and you get behind the rink, ladies and gentlemen, and you can really see what the players are looking at and get you up close to the players. And the best part about it is when they see the roving camera, they get out your way too, so everybody can see the end. A bit different when you're sitting here and you keep asking him to move. So I think Michael Keegan may have the fear factor built inside him, Chris.
We don't, clearly.
No, that's for sure. We're too far away. I think everybody's very, very interested in this bowl from Ray Pearce. He's just missed trailing the kitty.
Gee, he's missed that by a matter of inches, hasn't he?
Yes, but he has another bowl to play though, my friend. So Aaron's just delivered his bowl, of course, on the forehand. I think Queensland will be holding a couple of shots there, Chris, by the looks of it.
Looks to be on the wide side here, but he may have good enough weight to come back and count. Just needs it to stop and
I'd say that would be pretty close to in the count. I think Corey Wedlock just gave Ray the sign of 3 down, I think, so.
So there is a little bit of room here for Ray Pearce. Interesting to see. Of course, it's a very long end. The jack's only about a metre off the ditch, and the mat way back on the 2 metre mark. So we can't afford to be dropping short here.
Jimmy
on the
Anderson
forehand.
just played another great bowl there on the rink beside him, but we're watching this bowl here with interest from Ray. He's let it go. His players are showing a lot of interest in it.
His teammates are urging this along. Just needs to hurry through this gap here. And he probably got second shot there.
Aaron still got 1 bowl to play.
So Sean Baker calling Aaron Sheriff. They're holding 1, but if Aaron Sheriff can just arrive through that tiny little port there, he can get a touch on the jack and make 3 or 4 here.
He plays it correctly, Chris. He could end up with 5.
He's got perfect weight for the shot here. He can get onto his outside one, and he's punched that in for another. Any connection on the jack? Oh, gee whiz, if that jack had gone another foot there, he could have made 4. Probably made 2 here, though.
2 shots. As you said, very unlucky there. He played that with magnificent weight to get through that gap there, Chris.
So
the players are up there. You see Michael's out there in the rink, and they're having a team meeting to see how they can turn things around.
Well, I like what I'm seeing here, to be honest. They're battling 19 shots to 7 down, and they just needed something to go their way. So that's the start of the resurrections. We're joined by former Australian player Morgan Stewart. He's made the trek down from Brisbane.
Sean Ingham just played his bowl. He's playing on the backhand.
So straight away we see Aaron Sheriff has instructed his lead Matty Lucas to shorten the length of the jack right up, and Matt right back on the tee, and the jack pretty short here, Matty Lucas, and it's a pretty fair opener from the former Victorian.
Yeah, very good opening bowl there.
One of the nice guys in bowls, Matty Lucas.
Oh, that's for sure. Aaron's on the rink besides driving. He's lost interest in his bowl, so. Great reply here, though, from New South Wales, though, Chris.
Billy Johnson just getting a little feather off the Matty Lucas bowl and falls over, flops over for a toucher.
Yeah, great bowl there. It really was.
Got a bit of a shoulder here, though, Matty Lucas. Just needs to put any adjustment of weight on, just slightly more weight, and he can use his own. He looks to be cutting underneath the head, though, and didn't arrive there, so he'll be disappointed with that one, Matty.
Yeah, very disappointed, mate, that's for sure. Very disappointed.
So young Billy Johnson from Cabramatta, if he can get a touch on the jack here, he'll take that shoulder away from the Queenslanders. Just needs to hurry, and he's not going to do so. It's a chance here for Anthony Keepy. Just needs to play just a yard over, just arriving to the bowl and jack on his backhand. Plenty of interest from Sheriff here. He's definitely arriving and gets the bowl in the guts. Good shot.
Great bowl there by Anthony. He just sat that bowl as you called it. All he had to do was arrive on it, and he did do. But Corey Wedlock, of course, has right of reply now, and Corey's had an outstanding test series with this, but he doesn't like this one. He's kicking the ground. So, yep, a little bit short there, Corey, but it just goes to show me that you are human, my friend. He has played some incredible bowls. Anthony had to play with his next bowl, which again is on the backhand. I still think, Chris, that they need something a little bit closer than what they've got though, mate.
Well, I'd like to see Corey Wedlock take just a couple more seconds with this one. There's a change of length, and now Anthony Keepy's got one right alongside it, and he's doing so this time, Corey. You know, with the change of length, you can just be drawn into playing too quickly, and he doesn't like this one either. So this, even though it's still early days, there's still a lot of bowls to be played on this particular head. The change of jack length has worked for Aaron Shearer so far.
And for those of you, just a quick update on the score is that New South Wales 23, Queensland 32. So 32 to 23. And on the board over in the girls, unfortunately, once again, we have a few people. Sorry, there's the ladies right there. Queensland 23, New South Wales 31 after 29 ends.
So the Kurt Brown rink just skipping away from Ben Twist, a good count, just pushing Queensland a little bit in front on the overall board.
Sean Baker steps on the mat, and a great shot there by Michael Keegan, who's down on the ground. So I don't know how he's going to get up, but someone's going to have to help him.
We haven't spoken too much about the Kurt Brown rink, but Kurt Brown, of course, at his home club here at Tweed Heads, he is leading Ben Twist 12 shots to 4 after 8 completed ends.
Yes, Kurt's had a very good year since he's moved down to the Gold Coast and playing with the strong 12 Tweed Heads Bowls Club.
Thank you for joining us, Steve Brown, another Musgrave Hill member.
Do any of these Musgrave Hill members actually work, Chris, or what's the go, mate?
Oh, very important jobs they've got. Able to delegate their tasks over on a Friday afternoon. Thank you for joining us, Delane Berryman, and all the best for your Premier League Queensland games this weekend, mate.
I think Aaron's a bit short with this one, isn't he, Chris?
Yeah, doesn't like that one at all. A couple of metres short. So a couple of other shout-outs. Jenny Stevens, Mike Galloway, thank you for joining us. The Gannet, Michael Galloway, Joshy Thornton and Adrian Solomons, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to let us know who you're supporting by clicking on the emojis. The red love heart button if you're barracking for Queensland, and that laughy ha 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 emoji if you're supporting New South Wales. So we want you to smash those buttons and show your support for the respective states.
Aaron's just playing his last bowl down here. Of course, Ray Pearce just drew shot with that green bowl.
Have a look at this for a vision, Brian.
Yes.
Fantastic camera angle here as Aaron Sheriff just slides in between. So one shot to New South Wales here. Ray Pearce has last bowl here, and around about a foot to add another. His teammates getting interested. David Ferguson, Corey Wedlock and Billy Johnson just needs it to stop. And he's going to do so. So great
Two
bowl
shots
from Ray Pearce there.
Two great bowls there from Ray. Just watching the rink next door, Jaden Christie again. He's got one sitting right on top of it and one about 2 foot behind it. Two great bowls there. He's holding shot. And his second bowl's in a great position where it splits two bowls by the New South Wales squad.
So we're just going to change tack for just a second. If you're not aware, you're live here at Tweed Heads with Chris Lelieve and Brian Marshall. Brian, it's all about you now, mate. Why don't you tell us what is your involvement here at Bowls Queensland? You are
I'm a director of Bowls Queensland, Chris. We go to our AGM next month. I'm up for re-election, so I've thrown my hat back in the ring again, but I'm also president of the Gold Coast District Bowling Association, so I've been involved in the game of lawn bowls now for 49 years, and I just love the whole aspect of the game and the people that play the game, and I have a great passion for it, and got a great crew here with the media crew from the Gold Coast District Bowling Association. We've just received funding to buy all our own live streaming equipment, which we're in the process of purchasing. We'll be having some of the best equipment money can buy, and looking forward to be able to bring more quality games like this to a bowling fraternity, so we can maybe attract some more players into our great game.
absolutely. So if you're a club or a bowler or someone involved in the sport who's liking what they're seeing and pretty keen to get one of their events shown on live stream, just get in contact with us. Just send us a message and we can attempt to make it happen for you.
That's for sure. It's all about, it's not only to bring events like this to the bowling fraternity, but it's also to go and help the smaller clubs too, Chris, you know what I mean? To showcase some of their better players that never get the opportunity through working commitments to be seen at this level.
So we've got a pretty interesting head building up here. Matty Lucas has got two sort of target bowls pretty close to it, and New South Wales lead, Billy Johnson's got two behind it, as Corey Wedlock just looks to be sliding past, and he'll be another one behind it near the ditch, so it could be an interesting little head building up there. You suspect that there could be some weight played down there.
Could be a bit of danger there, matey. They get that kitty back there, so it's up to see where Anthony finishes with his bowl. He's playing the forehand. I don't think he's going to finish behind by the looks of it.
So he's going to be counting, but look, there's a bit of a target building up here now. When will we see some weight being called?
I think Ray's having a bit of a look at it this time, isn't he? He's having a real good look at it.
Just weighing up the options here. Of course, if they get the jack in the guts and sit right next to it into the drink.
He's called it. He didn't want it to get a bowl in the way where they couldn't get to it, so he's called it early.
So Corey Wedlock here on the forehand, lots of weight, looking to sink the jack into the ditch. He's not a million miles away. He's not a million miles away at all. He's got it, and he's sat right alongside it in the ditch. Jack probably 8 or 9 inches away from the shot bowl. And 4 shots there to New South Wales.
Absolute great bowl there, for sure. Aaron T's following it, bowl down on the rimpy side. He's got Kitty for 2 shots too.
You could see the thought ticking over in Ray Pearce's mind there. Risk or reward shot. Do I have a swish at it? If I miss, we could go 4, 5, 6 down here. But if I get it, that's a fantastic shot by Anthony Keepy. I think he's drawn the shot.
He's drawn the shot. He's drawn the shot.
So he's about a bowl off the lip here, and David Ferguson looking to put that bowl into the ditch with plenty of weight. Doesn't like it, pulls away, and he's quite a way wide of that one.
Sean, now, Chris, as you'd agree, Sean wouldn't be looking for second shot. He'd be looking to possibly get third shot and keeping away from the target, mate.
Doesn't want to make a bigger target, but he also does want to beat those cluster of bowls here. He's not too bad here, Sean Baker. Finishing right on the lip of the ditch, so perfect speed. Not too sure if he has got third shot or not. David Ferguson is a bit closer with this one, but not quite. So, still interested to see who does have the shot here. They did indicate, well, no matter what happens, Aaron Sheriff will be happy with that bowl of Anthony Keepy's, but bowls look like they're about 9 inches away from the jack in the ditch. Sean Baker needing this one to hurry, not going to do so.
Just not quite there.
Has he blocked up that?
He may give a bit of protection for that shot bowl, where they may have to change their weight, Chris, and play more of a swinger than a hard running shot.
Well, that's what Ray Pearce was looking at. He might have to switch over to the forehand and drop a bit of weight. Doesn't need to play with massive weight. The bowl is only a bowl off the ditch, so doesn't have to fly at it.
Probably just heard the noise there, ladies and gentlemen, where Nathan Rice just played an absolute bomb of a bowl. He was 2 down, played a magnificent shot there to pick up 2 shots.
So Ray Pearce
playing this swinger.
Doesn't like it. He's well wide with that one.
So pressure's now on Aaron Sheriff to try and beat that cluster of bowls, as you said, Chris.
So Sheriff just drawing down on his backhand. Ray Pearce will have one more crack at things. And he's just made things that much more difficult again. So Ray Pearce now changing his hand. Backhand with weight.
He likes it. He likes it. He's just missed it.
So as we welcome in Jaime Nordoff, one of Sean Baker's teammates at Victoria Point, playing in the Queensland Premier League. Had a very, very good victory over the Broadbeach Bulls last Saturday night. So that's what Aaron Sheriff has to deal with here.
Aaron's bowl on its way, Chris.
He's on the trot here too, which suggests he's not a million miles away. Just collecting one of the front ones, so one shot to Anthony Keepy. I'd suggest they are getting out the measure. And interesting here, they're getting out the measure, Brian, but one of those weighted shots of New South Wales collected the bowl in the ditch.
And moved it, yes,
so
that's correct.
Probably a bit of sportsmanship required here, and one shot to Anthony Keepy.
Yeah, ever so true there, Chris, yeah. Of course, when that happens, it's up to the thirds to, or the skips, whoever may be down that end, to replace where they think the bowl come from. But how many times you've seen it go back in the right place where there's no sand?
You'd be putting it right next to the jack, wouldn't you, Brian?
No, mate, I'd never con anyone of a shot. Unless I could get away with it. You wouldn't get away with it at this level, mate. No, there's no way in the world. All good. But Matt has rolled a 3/4 length end. His first bowl on the back end.
So Queensland picked up a good count with the Nathan Rice rink, and Aaron Sheriff doing his very, very best to narrow the margin against Ray Pearce. So things slightly in Queensland's favour here in the men.
Great bowl here by New South Wales, though, in the Nathan Rice rink.
The opposite happening in the women's is New South Wales have just stretched their lead. They are New South Wales 39, Queensland 26, so a 13-shot lead after 32 completed ends in the ladies.
Got Matty Lucas just playing his second bowl, of course, playing the backhand once again. Coming down.
Don't forget to get interactive on your screens if there's any questions you want to know, or let us know how things are going.
And Jimmy Anderson again, Chris on the rink beside, just drew a magnificent shot in there just behind the kitty. Jimmy really having a couple of days out, mate. He was showing everybody's raw ability he does have.
Well, his recall to the Queensland side after a period of time away, he's pretty keen to prove that his selection was justified, and from what I've seen so far, nobody can complain about his performances.
No, that's for sure. Absolutely outstanding, Chris. But at the same time, it's like most players do. They take up bowls at a young age and show a lot of progress. And, of course, they have a young family and they devote some time to their family. And when the time's right, they come back and start playing at top-level bowls and that again. It's just great to see Jim back at that level, because he's more than a capable player and one heck of a nice guy with it, mate. He's a bit of a gentle giant. Quite a tall man, but fantastic guy.
Well, there's not too many around that are taller than Nathan Rice, but he's got Nathan covered.
Look at this for a bowl from Anthony Keepy. Just flopped in, maybe second shot. Can't really tell on that angle, but anyway. But Corey Wedlock is again has played outstanding for the last two test matches. Never far away, Chris. Seems to have a pretty good line. Bit unlucky there, just crashed into a bowl.
So we're around about just past the halfway mark here in the deciding test match, and what we're asking you viewers at home to do, we want you to pick a winner, and we want you to pick the final score. So current score, Queensland 34, New South Wales 27 after 33 of 63 ends. Get on your keyboards and pick the winner and the final score. I think we can offer the winner a trip for two to LA or something like that, Brian?
Maybe a trip to Broadbeach, mate. Do they live on the Gold Coast? Maybe dinner for two at Musgrave Hill Bowls Club, where you work at.
As long as I'm not cooking the food, I'm sure they'll enjoy themselves at Musgrave Hill.
We do have a duty of care, Chris. I'm hearing you where you're coming from there, my friend. But all over there's some great bowls being played, so if you happen to be in the vicinity of Tweed Heads Bowls Club, come on down and see these people playing just talking to our technician here.
So Nathan Rice just on the narrow side here, but he might be a helpful bowl. So Erin Wilson has 2 bowls in the chute. Aaron Sheriff now on his forehand.
I think Aaron would be holding shot there, wouldn't he, Chris? Ray got 2 bowls to play though, of course.
So holding probably 2, you'd think here, Aaron Sheriff.
Brett Wilkie just played a bowl on the rimpy side and just pulling up a little bit short.
So Corey Pope is he's put in his tip. He's backing New South Wales to come back and win 57-53. So Ray Pearce there probably got the shot out of that.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So a good look at the head there from Michael Keegan, and that confirms that Ray Pearce tipped up that short bowl and he's got the shot. So Aaron Sheriff, change of hand here onto the backhand, playing with a touch of weight, just looking to make a connection on that shot bowl.
Aaron's interested in this shot. No, it's a bit narrow.
There was a little funnel to push that red bowl through and could have made a couple there, but Ray Pearce now has around about 4 inches of room to draw another one, and he's not going to do so with this one. As we welcome Aaron Hewson in. So David Ross also picking New South Wales comeback here in the back half of this match. We need some more predictions coming through, please, guys. Send through your winner and the final score.
You can tell, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting down to the business end of the back end of the game because the players are starting to wake themselves up and become very, very rowdy. So it's all good. There's some good banter going on out there, but as you're fully aware, Chris, these blokes off the green are very good friends.
Well, they realise that it all comes down to this, Brian. They've had 2 days, lots of travel involved for some of the players, playing in trying conditions yesterday afternoon, 2 games today, and they realise there's around about an hour to go. So it all comes down to this, as the intensity picks up from everyone across the board.
That's for sure, Chris. It's the band is getting quite strong, and once again they're on rink 2, of course. Nathan's rink. Jaden Christie again. Chris sitting Jack Eye got shot. Like, how many times have we seen that today?
Well, I tell you what,
look at this for another bowl.
He's been sensational, Jaden Christie. Absolutely brilliant. That's as good as it gets.
Resting toucher. You can't ask better than that, can you?
But these New South Wales boys, the Erin Wilson T, they don't know where to go at the moment. They haven't played poorly by any means, but they are 17 shots to 1 down, and you can see the body language of the Blues boys.
Well, the pressure's coming on from the opening, from the up front with young Jaden, the way he's playing. But look at this for a bowl. What a great bowl and a toucher.
Well, Matty Miles he's showing some ticker here because Jaden Christie has been all over it like a rash the entire game, and his teammates aren't giving him a massive amount of enthusiasm. But he hasn't gone away, Matty Miles. He's stuck with it, and he's shown some heart here.
He certainly has, Chris. He certainly has. And here comes Jimmy Anderson, who, of course, has had a couple of outstanding days.
So, apologies if you are experiencing some internet issues. We're doing our very, very best, and stick with us. This is around about an hour's worth of play to go here at Tweed Heads in the third and deciding test. Nathan Dawson there, packing in the head. Very, very good shot. So Big Jimmy Anderson now on his backhand. He can get a little trail of the kitty across over to the Jaden Christie bowl, which is second shot.
Great to see Johnny Walker come back on board too from the Harvey Bay area up in the Fraser Coast. Everybody knows that area for the beautiful Fraser Island. Great to have you back on board, John. Seeing some great bowls. Like, look at that head there. 6 bowls within 10 inches.
Well, they're all just about locked on each other. They're that close.
Yes, it's incredible to watch, I can assure you. It's just outstanding bowls.
So Judy Blackler requesting some more of the ladies. Our cameras are set up just where they are on the men's rink at the moment, Judy. So apologies for that, but we'll attempt to bring you some scores, and we can tell you that New South Wales have a 7-shot lead after 35 ends. New South Wales 40, Queensland 33. So pretty tight there as well in the women's stuff.
Yes, great bowls all over, that's for sure. Really some outstanding stuff. Like, you look at that head there on rink 2, and in actual fact you look at all the heads and all the way across the green. Chris, there's 8 rinks, which are some great heads there, mate. Sean Ingham, of course, coming down here, just trying to trail the kitty. Of course, is within 8 inches again, but doesn't get anywhere near being the count.
Look, they won't stress too much here, these boys. They've got bowls around the head. They're one down, but you can't really see them dropping any more than 1 shot here, the Queensland side. So Nathan Rice pretty happy with how things are playing out on his particular rink, up 17 shots to 1.
Great to see Nathan Appleton on board, watching from the Dolby Club. Lovely part of the area out there, out past the Darling Downs. And not only is Nathan a first-class bowler, he's also a pretty handy snooker player. So
I'm going to make a call here, Brian. I'd really like to see something from Aaron Tees here. Him and Erin Wilson, they're they're not in the side, but they're jackaroos in this particular rink. They're the guys that Nathan Dawson and Matty Miles are looking to bring some spark to the side. They need something from these 2 players. 17 shots to 1 down, but it's about the big board, isn't it?
it's about the big board, but also too, exactly what you said before, Chris, that they're not playing badly. And Aaron's played a great bowl here at 4 inches away and doesn't count, mate. Probably 3rd shot. So an absolute wonderful head there. It's just 8 bowls within 8 or 9 inches.
Sensational, isn't it? So Sean Ingham here on his forehand. He's not a million miles away here.
Just going to catch the wrong side of it. But that actually gives the head a little bit of protection for the Queensland boys, because as you said, they can't go any more than 1 down there.
It does. So basically there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 bowls locked within probably 10 inches of each other, and 1 lone bowl on its own at the back, and that belongs to New South Wales. It's a very interesting head building up here. In fact, there's 2 lone bowls in New South Wales out the back, so they hold the ascendancy there. Of course, we were talking about Niagara Therapy before, Brian, and they do have a free call number, 1-800-601-121.
What a great bowl there from Aaron Tees. Like we were just saying, that first shot gave him some protection. He just got a toucher, came around that front white bowl, and I think he could be 1 down now, Chris.
He's seriously stiff there.
Mate, what an incredible bowl that was. And he's 1 down, I think. Sean Ingham's having a real good look at it. The hard-working bowls coordinator from Tweed Heads, Wayne Turley, walking past. Of course, Wayne's been a great player. Well, it must be close because Sean's told him to play it. So.
Timmy Jones backing the Maroons here. Queensland 60, New South Wales 58 is his prediction.
Well, there's one thing I can assure you is that New South Wales are putting on one heck of a fight back here. Ably led by Ray Pearce, who's on the 16th end. He's up 24-8 over Aaron Sheriff. And who would have said that before the start of this game?
So that's a very good shot there from, even it looks like an innocuous shot there. If the jack happened to squirt out to the side, New South Wales have a couple in the wings waiting. We aren't over the top of the head, but mate, these bowls are packed in so tightly on this head. It's like a game of snooker here. Whichever bowl Erin Wilson is going to make a connection with will dictate what's going to happen to the rest of them, or the jack.
No, that's for sure.
Erin Wilson playing with Henselite XGs.
He's following it.
Needs to get down a fraction. Well, 4 or 5 bowls on that head moved, but the 4 or 5 ones closest to the jack stayed where they were.
Sean just said everything's moved and he doesn't know who's got shot now. He's got no idea. That's how close it is. They're looking over the top of it. Jimmy Anderson is having a real good look. Don't know why, because
it could be
Jim's about 2.5 foot taller than Sean. So
you'd like to be seeing Sean get down a little bit closer, wouldn't you? Jimmy's got no chance from up there.
But it's...
so the players have made the call that they reckon it's a dead heat here.
Yep.
2 bowls to come, 1 from each skipper. They're just looking at the angles, at the plants, and what's going to happen.
So they're all having a real good look at this. Jimmy's called Nathan to draw it. So quite a big call here. Nathan's played some incredible bowls here today. He's going to be a little bit short with this one. A little bit short. He's probably about 3.5 inches away. So they're still asking to take that bowl out of the head.
Well, what that bowl has done, it's just made that little plant on the front 2 in front of the shot bowls. When I say shot bowls, I'm talking about the 2 that are perhaps dead heat. It's just changed the angle. So if he hits that bowl, anything could happen. Still got to hit it though first.
He's got to hit it in the right place. They're looking at it. Something's going to happen
Close.
here.
Well, he's hit that bowl and he's turned a couple out, but the 2 dead heat bowls are probably haven't moved. So we could be seeing an umpire here.
Oh, you have to see an umpire, and that one is just incredibly close, mate. There, once again, I said, what an incredible head that was, Chris.
So Erin Wilson, part of the Team Henselite stable. Of course, one of our sponsors for the day. I think Erin Wilson plays with the Henselite Dreamline XGs. Probably one of the more popular brands of bowls going around. See Aaron Sheriff now part of the Henselite squad. So a good coup for Henselite, picking up the Australian skipper.
Yes, no, that's for sure. One heck of a close measure there, Chris. The umpire got one heck of a job to work out who's got shot there, mate. He's got the calipers out, of course. And
well, the discussion between Shorningham and Jimmy Anderson suggested a dead heat, so we'll see how good their eyes are. So if you're going to make a call from here in the men's and the women's, Brian, what's your prediction, mate?
dead heat, by the looks of that, mate. Dead heat.
Well, the boys are right.
The boys were right. So it was, as you saw then, the umpire picked up the kitty and rolled it out. So it was the kitty won that one. Very rarely this day and age do you see a dead heat like that without both bowls touching, but they were just off the kitty, at both being the same amount of measuring away from each other as so it's a dead heat where, of course, for those of you who don't know the rules, it's the ends counted, but no shots recorded, so it's a dead heat. On the rink next door to that, we've got Brett Wilkie just playing a bowl down here on his backhand. And, of course, Brett's delivered what his nickname is, which is Wiz. Great bowl down there. And we've got Jaden Christie leading up once again, who's probably...
Well, he's about a foot away this time, so disappointing from Jaden.
Yeah, I reckon he'd be very disappointed the way he's played with that bowl, Chris.
So we can tell you in the ladies that things have tightened right up again here. Only 4 shots the difference overall. New South Wales 41, Queensland 37 after 38 completed ends. So fight back from the Queensland girls.
No doubt about that Queensland spirit. It just never gives up, Chris. They just keep battling on, mate, don't they? They just keep coming back. Jaden just played his second bowl there. Just short of Kitty. He just touched the New South Wales first bowl, so it just fell a tad short, but still within a very respectable range, that's for sure.
So we see a fair amount of support, a few Helensvale Hawks shirts in the crowd, and why not? There's 24 players in the open sides on show, 12 men and 12 ladies, and 10 out of the 24 players are from the Helensvale Hawks, so it's a fantastic effort from one club. Very, very dominant in Gold Coast and Queensland bowls over the past decade.
Yes, John, I just saw your request there to see what type of bowls most of the bowlers are using. Well, I can assure you they all use different brands. Chris has a list of brands that are used, so I'm sure he'd love to elaborate a bit more on that for you, John.
They all use Henselite.
He's only saying that, John, because Henselite's one of the sponsors, my friend. Great bowl there from New South Wales, so Jim's got to change the shot that he just played, playing his second shot. He's playing the backhand, playing away from the clubhouse. Again, as you see, Chris, he's always got the same setup every single time. And I think that's one reason why Jim is so consistent with his bowls. His setup never changes, my friend.
Absolutely. Consistency is the aim. Yeah, well, he's got a little bit unlucky with that. He gave it a chance with Wade. He made sure he was there. Just didn't quite get the right connection on a bowl there.
Just got it on the wrong side there, my friend. But...
had to make sure he was up though. A good two's never short, and he had a little bit of rubbish in front of him, so he gave that every chance. So Nathan Dawson now, he gets the ball away very, very smoothly, is Nathan Dawson.
Kurt Brown just picked up a 3 on the rink beside.
A great shot there from Nathan Dawson, holding 2, front toucher and one about 4 or 5 inches behind. So holding at least 3 here, New South Wales.
Yep. And as Erin and Sean go to the head, because as you know at this level, most of the thirds do stand down the skips end. Sean to play first. Looks like it's just going to be a draw on the forehand.
No real wing bowls or sighters for weight, so it's all going to come down to how well he gets us away here, Sean Ingham, all down to his weight now.
His teammates are very interested in it. Well,
That's a fantastic shot by Sean Ingham.
What a great bowl there.
He's drawn second shot, tucked in behind the jack, so very hard for New South Wales to get to this. In fact, Erin Wilson calling a change of hand onto the backhand, looking to change the head up so they can manipulate more than one shot here. As we're joined by Paul Henricks. Thank you for watching, Paul.
Paul, of course, is from the Sunshine Coast. very lovely part of Queensland.
So Erin Wilson here, just on the wide side. If he was one bowl underneath that, he could have made connection on that grey shot that just fell over and changed the head up a bit. So that's been the story of this game so far. They've played very, very well, the New South Wales side, but they've just been missing by a bowl, and Queensland have just been a bowl better, if that makes any sense at all, Brian.
Well, it does. It does. It's at this level, playing on the indoor, they're never far away at all, are they? They just see this bowl here from Corey Wedlock, who's 2 down. He just drew the kitty back. He probably made 2 shots out of that. A wonderful bowl. But here we have Sean Ingham playing his second bowl.
And he's got another one past the head there. So two seriously helpful bowls there from the little nugget from Broadbeach, the duty manager there at the Bowls Club.
And of course, too, as you're fully aware of, also making up the rinks today are the under 25s. Once again, though, one reason we can't give you scores that because we can never see the board. But I can assure you, seeing the under 25s play, Chris, and you have to agree with me that bowls is in good hands in future years, mate. Because some of these younger generation, my God, they can play some great bowls, mate. They have no fear.
Well, these two states in particular are in seriously good hands when they have under 25 players in their open sides.
Yes,
and there's a fair smattering of them as well. Jaden Christie for one. I've been pretty impressed with the young lead for New South Wales in the ladies' side, Brianna Smith.
She's played very well too, that's for sure, Chris. Just for those people that aren't on the Gold Coast, I can assure you, looking outside, that the trees aren't bending sideways at the moment. They're probably about to touch the ground. Bit of blue sky, and there's a bit of dark cloud coming in over the ocean also too at the same time.
Nathan Rice.
What a bowl.
The greenkeeper from Clubs Helensvale, he's got the shot. Magnificent shot there from the Queensland skipper. He's given Erin Wilson a lot to think about here.
When you work it out, poor Aaron, he's just, every time he's gone to the head, he's been scratching his head, hasn't he? For a person of his quality, just the pressure that team's putting him under, the back end under.
So backhand with weight, looking for a connection on one of those outside ones. A little bit of luck required, and he doesn't get much at all. He's probably playing down for that grey, the white grey, probably the grey one closer to the centre line, just to make a connection on that and come down and split up the jack.
Yep.
Not a whole lot happening on the front two stuck together on the centre line.
In the under 25s, I can tell you, in the boys, Queensland 24, New South Wales 10. And we can't see the under 25 ladies because they're way over the other side on rink 8. And
the ladies score? Done one to zip.
Oh, the ladies score, yeah.
It's 40, Queensland 41, ladies, Queensland, New South Wales.
So for those of you who are asking about changing of rinks and whatnot, there's a pretty good reason why we are on the Nathan Rice Erin Wilson rink. It's because it's where the cameras are. Pretty simple.
Ever so true. And if you happen to be in the Tweed Heads region, you want to see the business end of the game, most of the players have been playing 14, 15 ends. Come on down, and you've got the opportunity to see these great players first hand, in motion.
It's a big bowl from Erin Wilson here. It's on its way. Similar shot to the last. Looks to be a little bit closer. How much luck's he going to get? He's got the bowl and it's spat through past the jack. Got the one that he was after, but just didn't quite get the good part of it. Was looking to flick that bowl down into the jack, into the two bowls. Not quite. So Jaden Christie with the jack again, and he's had a fair bit of it. They've played 15 ends, and he's thrown the jack 14 times.
Absolutely fantastic to watch, I can tell you. He's no wonder he's leading up so well. He's had the opportunity of rolling the kitty just about every end, Chris, hasn't he? It's when you're leading 19-1, you've thrown the kitty quite a few times, mate. And once again, he's only a few inches away. What a wonderful start for young Jaden. Absolutely beautiful start. So absolutely leading the.
Well, these two rinks are kind of cancelling each other out. Nathan Rice up 19-1 over Erin Wilson, and on the adjacent rink, Ray Pearce up 25 shots to 8 over Aaron Sheriff. So the deciding rink is the Kurt Brown Ben Twist rink, and Kurt Brown currently up 17 shots to 6. So around about a 10-shot margin for Queensland here, about 2/3 of the way through the match. Things are a lot tighter in the women's. Only 2 shots in it. New South Wales 42, Queensland 40. And if you, as Brian said, if you're in the area, now's the time to get down, because we're in for a grandstand finish here at Tweed Heads. If you're on the live streaming, don't go away.
If you get the opportunity, share it with your friends. Let's get it out there and get people that don't know anything about the game watching this exciting conclusion to this wonderful 3-test series.
Absolutely. There's still time for you to share.
We've got New South Wales looks to be holding 2 shots on Nathan Rice's rink. So, no, I beg your pardon. I think Jimmy Anderson's got shot there by the looks of that. So I think they must be 1 down.
We can tell you in the Queensland under 25 men, that Queensland versus New South Wales under 25 men. The fours game going on in the rink beside us. Queensland have a commanding 27 shots to 10 lead there. So that rink, including Jesse Turnbull and Nick Gosley, they are up 27-10.
And you've got a wonderful start there by New South Wales on Aaron Sheriff's rink, and Ray Pearce must have picked up a few shots there, because it's now 27-8. It's now 27-8 over there. So,
as we're joined by Alex Murtagh, former Queensland representative. I'm glad you could join us, Trumpy. Let us know how things are going in your part of the world, mate. Always one for a good comment on a live stream.
He's actually gone on into the mining industry, my friend, so I've been informed.
So we see Sean Ingham here coming down just a touch narrow, but will he get a result after these bowls? He's good enough to probably fall in for second shot there.
Queensland there, by the looks of it, have second and third shot, and any trail of the kitty they could possibly pick up 3 shots with that, Chris.
They have everything to play to here. They
have, haven't they?
Any trail or any sort of connection on the Sean Ingham bowl can pump that bowl through the head, so plenty to play for here as Aaron T's looking to draw another one. He's not far away.
Great bowl here by Aaron.
That's what they needed. Obviously, when you're 19 shots to 1 down.
Yes, Johnny Walker, you are right. Lurch is a genius. He's played sensational 3 days of bowls, John, I can assure you of that. He's been in outstanding form. It's been a pleasure to watch him play.
So Sean Ingham making sure he's keeping that bowl on the rink. So we can paint a picture behind the rink, behind the head, Queensland have 2 at the back, split up between a New South Wales bowl. New South Wales holding 2 on the head. So I'd suggest Aaron T's looking to do no differently than he did with his first, which was a side resting toucher.
Great bowl there by Anthony Keepy on the rink beside, mate. He just drew off a resting toucher. As we see Dave Edwards, New Zealand coach.
Yeah, former New Zealand coach, and Aaron Tees has played literally exactly the same bowl, and he's drawn, he's pumped his own just behind the jack even more. So New South Wales holding 3 here. That yellow bowl of Jaden Christie's, it's not often we've said this game is kind of in the road here for Nathan Rice. If that blocker wasn't there, you'd definitely be seeing some weight down there, but it's just making things a little bit awkward. Nathan Rice changing hand from Sean Ingham on his forehand. He'll be looking just to arrive down into the 2 white bowls. Just needs to squirt around that front yellow. He's just ducked underneath and managed to drop in for probably second shot.
Absolutely magnificent bowl, that or result I should say. He was a bit narrow there, but once again, Nathan playing with the weight that he plays with, he got the result that was required, Chris.
Absolutely, played with good weight, and even though he was a touch fortunate, that was because that his boys in front of him had built ahead and they had bowls on the head, and he was able just to get a fortunate little shoulder off that, back in for second shot. So Erin Wilson now on his backhand, looking to just rest the Nathan Rice bowl out, and he's just a bowl wide, isn't he? And
Nathan's probably ended up with shot out of that.
He's probably given the shot away, but we said it on the previous end. They've only been a bowl away, New South Wales, and
that once again was,
literally a bowl away that time.
Inches away.
So David Bowles wishes you a good afternoon, Brian.
David Bowles playing for the Swifts combination these days in Premier League, and of course he's a former Laidley player. They tell me that he's never beaten Kerry Green in a game of bowls, so I've been informed by Mr. Green.
Nathan Rice is just on the wide side here. Gee whiz, he wasn't far away there at all. So Erin Wilson looking to sit that yellow bowl right next to the yellow jack of Nathan. If he can sit and stay, he can make 4 here. Wasn't a million miles away with the first. He's dropped just a yard of pace, allowing it to turn a wee bit more here. He's close. Is it going to get the required part of the bowl? He gets the jack right through to the back of the rink, and he's going to follow through and get the shot. So the crowd are up, so they recognise that they've doubled their score here. It's taken 15 ends, they've moved to 2.
And Lynette from Gin, great to have you on board, Lynette. We have a great contingent of lady bowlers here today, of course. Also, so Alex Hyde, who won the morning games? Well, I can tell you that the Queensland ladies beat the New South Wales ladies, so it's a live test match, the 3rd test match. And the men's went down to 1 shot, with New South Wales securing a 1-shot victory over Queensland. So there once again, another live test match. Both these test matches are live. They decide who wins these on who's going to win the series. So you can't get anything better than this. Absolutely fantastic bowls.
So committee meeting in the middle of the green there from Erin Wilson, and they've done the right thing there. They needed something from their skipper. It's all about the big board, and they recognise that, just slowing things down, and their tactical approach now will be for Matty Miles to take the mat right back near the ditch, and Aaron T's standing just over the minimum, and a short jack roll here. They want to get this right, and he's done it pretty well here. If he runs...
Wasn't quite there, Chris.
He must have been standing at the absolute minimum there, Aaron Tees, and hasn't quite reached him. So Jaden Christie will once again be able to dictate the length of this.
And as you'd expect, Chris, Jaden has changed the length that the New South Wales team was after.
Just back to that 3/4 length they've been playing so well. Chuck the mat up a couple of metres, chuck the jack near down the back.
Kurt Brown rink just picked up a 2.
It's a big finish now. We're coming into the closing stages. Around about 3/4 of the way through here, Brian Marshall.
Yes, the ladies over there on 44th end. It's Queensland 41, New South Wales 44. So again, there's not much in that. It's as you'd expect it with these two quality teams and the capabilities of these players. It's coming down to the end.
Well, for those of you who can hear out there at home, as Jaden Christie draws another front toucher, I know that a lot of you are sitting there watching at home and still haven't got interactive. You still haven't hit the like button. There's still time to do that. I can see who has and who hasn't liked this, so you're in the naughty books if you haven't. Smash that like button. We want to see everyone smash the like button right now. We can see everyone, all the likes coming through, so that is your one job, people.
Great opening bowl there once again too, Chris, from Jaden Christie. Got a resting toucher down there, which is pretty handy. And his second bowl just in behind the head. So once again, absolutely magnificent leading up front from young Jaden.
Well,
Matty Lucas just trailed the kiddie through. He was 2 down with his last bowl. A good leads bowl. He just trailed it off. So.
As we welcome in Bob McCauley, one of the world's best bowls watchers and commenters, Bob McCauley. Speaking of watching bowls, I can see the Australian selector up there, Calvin Kirko, and if he's had his eyes tuned in, he would have seen the performance of one of his Jackaroos emerging squad members, Jaden Christie. For me, he's probably been the best player on the rink for me, Brian.
Well, he has been, but when you look at that rink though, and the way Nathan's played also too, Jaden has given them the start that they've required. He's put the opposing team under pressure with his very first bowl, Chris. And in fours, how many times does the lead win you a game, my friend?
Absolutely.
Really has played superbly, but Jimmy Anderson taking nothing away from him, or Nathan Rice, or Sean Ingham. I think there's the whole rink is just fired for the 3 games, and played exceptional bowls.
They've all complemented each other.
They certainly have, and
thank you, Sam Clough. Well done. Thank you for that.
A great member of the bowling fraternity is Sam. Certainly does a lot of great work there to keep our game out there on the pages, Chris. Alan Law's just clicked in. I can tell you, Lawman, I've got a shirt for you signed by the New South Wales ladies, so I'll be in contact with you after this broadcast, my friend, to see where you are. All
the best for your Queensland Sevens match tonight, Lawman.
At Burleigh Heads. Good luck.
Big roar there as Stephen Tong has killed the end. They were in a precarious position there in the Kurt Brown versus Ben Twist rink. And Stephen Tong managing to kill the end there for Queensland. As we welcome in Ali Forsyth. How are you, G? See you in 2 or 3 weeks, mate, and all the best in your round of Premier League for Clayton this weekend.
Definitely plenty of bowls going on around Australia at the moment, that's for sure, Chris. There's bowls going on in all the states. All the major states are playing top competition, so these players are well and truly in form, and hence the reason why we have to play these events on a Thursday and Friday, because of the players' commitments for their clubs and zones and districts and what have you on Saturdays and Sundays. It would be lovely to have played this on a weekend where we have a good crowd here now, but we would have had a lot more if it was played on the weekend, but players have commitments also.
There's certainly no shortage of bowls in this country, that's for sure, as Sean Ingham is seriously close here. He's just dropping a bit short. Love the track halfway down.
Absolutely, mate, and also again too, looking right on the line once again, so just goes to show it's just the way. So, of course, Aaron scored Teasy on the backhand draw. Aaron, beautiful delivery he's got, follows his bowl.
He's just, I've noticed the last 15-20 minutes, he's got his tail up a bit more, Aaron Tees. He's playing with a little bit more confidence. Needs a slide off that short one, and he's got it, and he's down to the jack and toucher. So a little bit fortunate, but he had perfect weight there.
He certainly did. And he's holding shot, of course.
So we'll give you an update of the rink scores, Mr. Murtagh. We have Kurt Brown 19, Ben Twist 7 after 14 ends. Big result, the Aaron Sheriff Ray Pearce rink. Ray Pearce, New South Wales 30, Aaron Sheriff 8. And we can't see the score in this particular end, but it's around about 19 shots to 2 in favour of Nathan Rice, as Sean Ingham has gone seriously close there. He's rocked off the
not
shot
19-2 it is, Chris.
So 19-2 confirmation there.
19-2, 19-2. I can't see how many ends because they've all got back in front of the scoreboard once again. Not getting on us, my friend. David Ferguson playing a bowl with Queensland holding 2.
It's a massive score. Ray Pearce 30, Aaron Sheriff 8. 2 ends to go in that particular match. They're not mucking around, haven't had many kills, whereas the other couple of rinks have got 5 or 6 ends to play.
And for those following the ladies, it's on the 45th end. It's Queensland 41, New South Wales 46. Once again, very close, not much in it. Anyone's game.
So we can tell you in that particular rink, Lindsay Clark 19, Natasha Scott 14. So Lindsay Clark holding a 5-shot lead over her Jackaroos teammate.
Yeah, definitely some great matchups over there also too. Unfortunately, we've had a bit of camera angles and a bit of trouble with the internet this afternoon, so we've had to just stick to this end. Nothing intentional, I can assure you of that. Just a few hitches with the internet down this neck of the woods today. Then again, if you see the conditions outside, you'd understand why. Ray Pearce again looking to split this head. He's pretty close, and he's done it. 19-3, so obviously Aaron's picked up another shot there.
So Christina, I can tell you in the under 25 men, Queensland have a commanding lead with only a few ends left to be played. 27 shots to 13 after 16 ends. The men's fours taking place. Nick Gosley and Jesse Turnbull playing very, very well for Queensland.
Great to see Ian Law and Greg Robbie both tuned in and watching. Yeah, you're dead right there, Greg. It is a big score to Nathan. But he's been, if you see the way his team performed throughout the day, this test match, mate, you'd understand. Like, I mean, the other team has not played badly, but Nathan's team, ably led up front by Jaden Christie, has just led absolutely superbly and put the opposing team under pressure from the opening bowl.
So this is probably a reasonable assessment of how the match has gone on here, Brian. Matty Miles has the shot, but he's sort of just jack high, just in a bit of a target situation, whereas Jaden Christie is right on the centre line.
Yes, it's Jaden just hasn't put a foot wrong. You know, he's just played absolutely magnificently.
So just needs any improvement on his last here. Jaden Christie is pretty close to his own, and he gets himself up a little bit unlucky, but he's made the head better. So 2 good bowls from Jaden Christie there.
Well, there once again, I think that's the difference, Chris. Like, I mean, even though Jaden may not have shot there, he's got 2 very workable bowls for his teammates because they're well within range of being improved.
Absolutely. So Nathan Dawson here, just he was pretty close to the jack there as well, just got hooked up on that bowl, but another close head building up here. as Nathan Rice considers what hand to be played, and he calls Jimmy Anderson down on the backhand through the 2 yellow bowls, looking to just roll them over once or twice.
Yeah, it's good to see Tony watching from Club Man. I saw Tony here this morning. He enjoyed the second test match. He had to get back and do some work, and it's great to see John Teal on board too. John, of course, a very good bowler from the Cunningham district. Jimmy Anderson's just playing a bowl coming down here, and he just sat that bowl through for maybe possibly 2 or 3 shots there, Chris.
Well, that was the weight that Nathan Rice was looking for, possibly a little bit narrow, and got hooked up on that bowl, but now a chance for Nathan Dawson. He can draw the jack around the corner and make 2 or 3, and he's not a million miles away. Gee, just caught through that bowl there and slid between the bowl and the jack, but so similar sort of weight here from required. Nathan Rice is calling, wants a touch of green, looking to skirt around the head and just a metre or 2 behind in a catching position. On its way, big Jimmy Anderson.
Jeffrey Miller watching. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast, Jeff. Quality bowls here, mate.
And he's given the shot away, but probably finished exactly where Nathan Rice wanted one, so it sort of negated any possible damage towards the back of the rink. But
there once again, though, Chris, it just goes to show at this level of bowls, when your lead's in the area, you've got bowls that you can use, how you can dictate the game. By then you've got the luxury of getting your second to play positional bowls.
Absolutely. So Aaron T's here very, very close to the jack, and he's trailed it himself, so definitely holding the shot now. 3 seconds for Sean Ingham to work with here. 1 right on the jack, and Queensland have the next 3.
I can assure you that the Australian selector Kelvin Kirko has gone nowhere, and he's up top watching with Wayne Turley, of course, the Director of Bowls Australia. So no one's leaving here today, particularly Robbie Allen, our technical advisor today, has done a superb job. A little bit greyer for the wear with the problems that we've had, but what would we do without Robbie? I tell you what, if it wasn't for Robbie, this would not be happening today. So Robbie, well done, buddy.
Sean Ingham touch on the jack there, a little bit unfortunate, still 1 down, and we can tell you that the live score is Queensland 49, New South Wales 40, so 9 shots the difference, which might seem healthy, but there's still a few bowls to be played in this match. It ain't over yet.
It will come down to the last couple of ends, I'm sure, Chris, because it's just too close. Just watching. Sean Ingham's just played a bowl. What a great bowl by Sean here. He's just drawn the shot. Had to come around the front ones, which he has done absolutely superbly for the shot. It'll be interesting to see what shot Aaron's going to play, because he can't play with weight, because he's only got 1 bowl within 6, so he's got a dead draw. He's just a little bit wide with this one, but he probably has taken that back bowl out of the equation. So Queensland holding 1 there, with Nathan Rice to play 2 bowls, and Aaron got 1 bowl left. Nathan just let his bowl go. So Aaron playing his second bowl because Nathan's got 2 shots there. Aaron's just played a great bowl there. He's trolled the kitty through, but he's still one down, according to Aaron Tees. So? Who's commentating with Chris? I am. Chris has gone for a bit of a walk, have a bit of a break, so you've got me for a few more minutes. Russell till Chris gets back. So how unlucky is that from Erin Wilson? He's played a great bowl, and as I said, Aaron Tees said he's still one down. So Nathan's playing his second bowl down here on the forehand. I think he'd be very happy to stay away from this set, which he has done. They're calling an umpire. Very, very close measure again. Last time the umpire was called on this rink, it was a tie. So the end was counted, of course, with no result recorded. No score for either team. We got again, Chris on rink 2, Nathan Rice's rink. We've got a very, very, very close rink where they've could be another tide, mate. How often would you see two tied ends in a game of bowls?
Here you see one in a blue moon, two in a game is unheard of.
Yes.
Well, Russell, that young upstart next to me is a young man by the name of Brian Marshall. Only been involved in the game for how many years, Brian?
49 years.
Yeah, he does know his stuff. He'd be disappointed if he didn't after 49 years.
Seen some great players play the game over the years. Great Barry Solder, a whole lot of them. Robbie Dobbins at his best. There's some great bowls over the years. I was fortunate enough to do the greens at West Epping Bowling Club, a club in Sydney, where we had Jack Eye in 1988, and some great players played down there in that.
Would it be fair to say, even though there's been a lot of bowls played over 49 years that you've seen, some of the best may even be out on the screen right now, Brian?
Well, it's very hard to judge people from different generations with different style of bowls that they've been using, though, Chris. Like, I mean, bowlers have got a lot tighter these days.
Mine haven't.
Compared to the old days when people were using old bowls. But one of my favourites to watch in those days was always Kenny Williams. I thought he was a very gifted weighted bowler, never far away from the head. Of course, Bobby Perella was always at his peak in those days too. Dennis Dalton, of course, was a pleasure to watch. Barry Solder. But this day and age, I'd have to agree with you. Like, the next generation of great bowlers is sitting right here in front of us, showing their skills. So
I thought you were going to say alongside you, but no. So one of the rinks in the men's match already completed. We can tell you that Ray Pearce has made 30. So Ray Pearce 30, Aaron Sheriff 10. So a massive 20-shot victory to New South Wales in that particular rink. So it's all going to come down to the Nathan Rice and Kurt Brown rinks for Queensland, as we see Jaden Christie draw just another front toucher with his first bowl.
What a great bowl that was, Chris. Like, I mean, it's well into this game, and he's another great bowl.
Well, the rink that we probably haven't seen a massive amount from is the Kurt Brown, Brett Wilkie, Stephen Tong and Jay Dorr rink, and they are the furthest away from us in the commentary position. But Kurt Brown 22, Ben Twist 7, so obviously a good performance so far with 5 ends to be played in that particular rink from a couple of the debut players, Jay Dorr and Stephen Tong.
Well, Jaden hasn't got shot there, Chris, but you'd have to agree where that bowl just finished. This isn't a very good home for Jimmy Anderson, the players to come after him. Any touch on that bowl should spring it back out to Jaden's last bowl, mate.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what, if the game finished right now, Matty Miles couldn't be disappointed with his performance as a lead for New South Wales.
Well, here's another great bowl by Matt. Like, I mean, he's got 2 shots there, and he really hasn't led badly, but Jaden's just played absolutely outstanding. Like, I mean, how many games of bowls have you played in like I have over the years? And you're happy the way you played, but you've got an absolute hiding, so, you know.
So Jimmy Anderson has the chance just to arrive down onto those 2 bowls now. Nothing for short here, and you can bet $1 that he won't beat. As you said, Brian, any connection on the shot bowl or the other one, possibly spit the jack back to Jaden Christie's bowl. Just a matter of his green here, and he looks like he's a touch wide.
But gone to a wonderful home. He's playing with the correct weight there too, to get a result.
Quite often players will play that shot and their eyes light up, and all of a sudden they play with far too much weight and slide into the ditch or something like that.
Yes, and just an update on the ladies. On the 50th end, New South Wales skipped away slightly. It's New South Wales 51, Queensland 43.
So New South Wales are just... Queensland made a comeback halfway through the match, but New South Wales just holding there. So 8 shots the margin with 13 ends to be played in the women's.
Still plenty of ends there for anyone to win, but once again it's a wonderful spectacle. Some of these players playing absolutely...
He's closer this time, Jimmy Anderson. He's just dying underneath the head, though, just a touch narrow.
Just over-corrected slightly. But once again, his bowl's finished in a very, very good home.
It's probably even a better catching position, the way that the shot bowl is positioned onto the jack. It looks like the jack will spit to that side of the rink, so 2 good catching bowls, we call them, from Big Jimmy Anderson. And he'll be disappointed with that one, Nathan Dawson, finishing short.
Yes, that's for sure. Just had a message from our technical advisor to apologise for not being able to have the ladies score up here, but we've had a few hitches down here today with the internet connection and a few technical problems because the conditions down here on the outside are absolutely horrendous, and we've had a few problems with the internet, so we haven't been able to put the ladies score up for a while. But I can tell you it's 53-44 on the 52nd end to New South Wales.
Well, interesting here, Shorningham is playing a similar sort of shot, but on the other hand, and he's a lot closer here. He needs to make a connection down underneath the yellow, and he's got it. Oh, he's unlucky there. Still setting the head up here, though, the Queensland boys, and we can tell you that we have the most viewers that we have had so far today. We're well up over the 200 mark. Not long to go now, only 9 ends left to be played in this men's match over 2 rinks, so 1 rink already completed. Ray Pearce 30, Aaron Sheriff 10. That rink completed.
Yes, and the start of the 3rd test, who would have thought that, like, we all know Ray's a great player, and we all know how great a player Aaron is, but who would have predicted that score, Chris?
Well, Queensland in front, and I'm not suggesting that they're going to win this match, but they are 9 shots in front. Who would predict that Aaron Sheriff would get beat by 20 and Queensland could still win?
Well, I think fine that we should have got Shorty White in there on some odds for that one, because I reckon it would have been pretty good odds he would have given on that one, mate.
Shorningham, bigger weight this time, bigger weight, and that's sensational shot there from Shorningham. He's still down, but he's changed the head right up there.
But he's made it accessible now to the players to come after him, mate.
He has. He's given Nathan Rice every show here. So to negate that, Aaron Teasel wanting to be draw right next to the jack here. Just needs to run. It looks like he's going to count. So very good shot there from Aaron Tees. That's what was required.
Great bowl there by Aaron. But the way Nathan's been playing here today, I'd back him in to draw this, because he has been absolutely in outstanding form in all 3 games, in actual fact. So.
Kevin Crossland watching from Arundel. It's just down the road from me, Kevin. I hope the weather's not too bad there at Harbour Town, mate.
Nathan's delivered his bowl. Of course, he's playing on the back end.
Just needs to get down. He's just pushed it a fraction. Well, that's a good sider with his first, Nathan Rice. He doesn't need much of a correction.
And of course, we have one of the under 25 young guns walking past, young Nick Gosley. Definitely needs a haircut and shave.
Unbelievable, that man, when he shaves his beard, looks about 20 years younger.
He's a lot of talent, that lad. Played a lot of games for Queensland in the under 18s and under 25s.
So, good shot from Erin Wilson there, probably counting. Interesting though, it's made a bit of a line cannon there, but Nathan Rice quickly onto the mat, just sticking with the draw. Has he sent it? Has he sent this one?
I don't think he has.
So, a good 3 here for New South Wales, with 1 to come. 3 in a measure, perhaps. Hard to tell on that angle, but
3 in a measure with 1 more to come, mate, in my opinion, yes.
So,
and the way Nathan's played today, you think he would have drawn that, but it just goes to show you, even the great players can just miss at times.
He sent this on a nice, healthy, wide line, Erin Wilson, all down to weight. Just needs to hurry, and he's going to be in the count for 4. Is he going to be up enough? Just dying. Probably not. But still a count for New South Wales, and that's given them some hope. And we can tell you on the bend twist Kurt Brown rink that New South Wales have also scored on that. Throwing the jack there is
having a team meeting, of course, to work out what length to play, so it's all getting very exciting. They're coming down to the wire once again.
Mason Lewis is throwing the jack long down on the bend twist rink, so things really hotting up now. Only 7 shots a diff here, Brian.
Yes, that's for sure. Queensland 52, New South Wales 45. On 56 ends, so it's definitely tightening for sure, Chris.
So not long to go now, Brian. Things tightening up. This is as big as it gets. They're locked at 1 test each.
Yes, the ladies and the men. Can't get any better than this. I can tell you that on the Kurt Brown rink, the New South Wales lead has got shot. Young Jay Dawson playing his second bowl.
So Kurt Brown 22, Ben Twist 9 after 17 completed ends. Mason Lewis holding shot on that particular rink, and Jay Dorr is going to slide on through. So New South Wales still holding on that rink. As Matty Miles looking to just correct his line here. Very, very good weight with his first, and he's played a good bowl there. So 2 to New South Wales, and interesting, isn't it, Brian, even though he's not all over the jack, the fact that he's drawn another shot and the fact that they're placed where they are in this match, the crowd's starting to get up now. The New South Wales boys urging on every bowl here. Jaden Christie just needs to get down. He's just going to finish wide and heavy of this one.
Still a very usable bowl there, that one though, Chris. Like if the next person plays the forehand and trails that, it could really bring that bowl into play. But isn't it amazing once your lead starts to get bowls a few close, how the rest of the team starts firing behind them?
Absolutely.
As we've seen the surgence here with Erin. I know the score doesn't give justice to the way they've played, but as soon as their lead came on, all of a sudden they're all starting to...
Well, those 5 shots that they've scored in the last half an hour they've been crucial to the overall score. You know, if they'd dropped 5 shots, they'd be in all sorts of trouble here. But Jimmy Anderson looking to get a touch on the shot bowl, just needs to hold its head a bit, and he's got it.
What a
Good
great
Jimmy
bowl by Jimmy Anderson.
Crowd getting in behind the Maroons now.
Just shows you though, with the quality of bowls that Jim's played for the 2 days, it again is just outstanding under pressure.
Nathan Dawson now looking to get onto the jack, just sliding past it, not far away at all, but it's another catching
They definitely need another bowl in the head here, though, Chris. One bowl in the head's just not enough.
They do. 2 seconds and 3 or 4 in catching positions here for New South Wales. So
this could be a very telling end if they can get onto this, that's for sure.
Russell, yeah, no, I'm not too sure if there's any concert in Tweed Heads. Spice Girls reunion. Jimmy Anderson's played 2 rippers here. No matter what happens with this bowl, he's drawn 2 shots. Brilliant, no toucher. High fives all round for that.
That's wonderful bowling, that, Chris.
Big Queenslander, you did right.
Under pressure,
Brian.
that is just wonderful. Under pressure.
So Nick Gosley in the under-25s, he's not only killed the jack, he's almost killed a couple of the players along with it.
But there again, it just goes to show you that those players should have been standing on the bank and not on the green.
Can't argue with you, Brian. Now there's all sorts of conjecture about what's going to happen. Someone's got a broken leg or going to have a severely bruised shin.
That would have stayed in the ditch until it hit his leg and bounced forward. I got no idea who's got shot, but that should really go into the ditch in my opinion. But anyway.
And that is what's happening, a bit of sportsmanship showing there. They've just sort of placed the jack into the ditch. Sorry if you don't know what we're talking about at home, but here's Aaron Tees, looks to be down narrow and not going to make it any difference on that.
Sean Ingham walking to the head, been told what to play.
So we welcome a couple of our regular viewers, Julia Ambest and Trenton Healy.
Yes, that's for sure. Great to see them on board. So the wonderful support that we're getting from everybody at the moment, it's been fantastic.
So Sean Ingham now just looking to put in a position bowl on the backhand.
Yes, Margie, it was a great shot by Big Jim. Margie, of course, doing a great job out there at Dolby.
Nathan Rice very, very happy with this from Sean Ingham, just going towards the back of the head, splitting up a couple of bowls.
David Baker's back watching with us.
So Aaron Tees now, big bowl coming up, needs to disturb the head, needs to change it up. He's 2 down, some catching bowls behind the head. His teammates are getting interested. He's not a million miles away.
He's got it, but he didn't get enough of it.
Well,
still holding 2 shots there, I'd say, Chris.
I know they've still got a couple of ends left and anything can happen from here, but that's been the story of this game, hasn't it? Only missing by a bowl, half a bowl, just the wrong connection on the shot bowls there. A little bit stiff there for Aaron Tees, and he looks pretty disappointed with that result. It has made things slightly better for Erin Wilson though. There's now only a 1 bowl connection, whereas last time there was 2 bowls to contend with. So you'd think if Erin Wilson does make connection with that shot bowl now, the jack is going to go back somewhere. Thank you for those kind words, Trenton, and for you and for anyone else out there watching. Don't forget to get your entries in for the Musgrave Hill Easter Open Prestige Singles. That event will be live streamed by this commentary team again.
Just an update on Kurt Brown's rink, Queensland 24, New South Wales 19 on 18 ends.
So Wilson with big weight there, swishing right down for the shot bowl, looking to kill the end or send it right back into the ditch, and hasn't managed to do so.
So Nathan going to the head, he's just asking his team what they want him to play. And I think Sean's asking him to go right round the back, even though he's got he can only go 1 down at the back. But I think Sean's happy with those 2 shots there by the looks of it, Chris.
I'd say so, and knowing that Aaron Wilson's only got 1 bowl to come, he's got the deepest bowl now. It is Nathan Rice. So Aaron Wilson on its way, big looking to kill the end. He's not a million miles away. He's peeled out 1. How do you peel that bowl off? It was 2 centimetres off the jack.
There once again though, it's the indication of the game. It's like they have not played badly, Chris.
No.
Yet the score indicates that they haven't played well, which is just not true. Of course.
Nathan Rice not mucking around, just needs to run, and he's going to make another counter here. Needs to get down and fall in. Needs to get down and fall in. Measure. So Erin Wilson's got a bit stiff there, to be fair, with
Yeah,
that
they're going to
drive.
measure. Sean's gone down for a quick measure.
So big measure here, 7 the diff overall. We can tell you that the score on the other men's rink in play is Kurt Brown 24, Ben Twist 9 after 18 completed ends.
And that was just one shot then to Nathan Rice's rink. Very close it was.
So just a wee plug for those of you listening out there. Just another reminder to get your entries in to me for the Musgrave Hill Easter Singles. First prize $3,000 cash plus a $1,000 direct entry into the Broadbeach Blue Opal Singles.
Here we have Jaden delivering his first bowl.
Jaden Christie, fairly handy start, just a bit short with that one. So not long to go now, fellas. Guys and girls at home. We can tell you that in the women's, New South Wales have an 11-shot lead with 18s to go. 11-shot lead with 18s to go. New South Wales up 58-47 over Queensland.
Absolutely been outstanding 2 days of bowls here.
A very close game between Natasha Scott and Lindsay Clark. Lindsay Clark 20, Natasha Scott 19 with 2 ends to be played.
The New South Wales ladies have skipped ahead there slightly though, Chris. It's 58 to New South Wales and 47 to Queensland. And over here on the men it's 52 Queensland, 45 New South Wales on the 58th end. So there's 5 ends to play. And Jimmy Anderson just stepping on the mat now.
A little bit of a hush over the rink.
Certainly is.
Yeah,
Good on you, Joe Ridley. Going off for a game of marbles. Well done, mate. So big Jimmy Anderson's drawn the shot here.
Wonderful bowl by Jim. His performance in this 3 Test Series has been absolutely outstanding.
So this just one event, Brian, that the Gold Coast Tweed region will be hosting over the next 12 months. A massive calendar of bowls to come. The Asia Pacific Championships in June, just after the Australian Open. Queensland State Championships, World Bowls Championships, most of those events being held at the Broadbeach Club, Helensvale and Musgrave Hill Bowls Club. So massive calendar of bowls on the Gold Coast in the next couple of years.
Absolutely, Chris. We're very lucky to have some great conditions, even though I don't think the last 2 days would showcase the weather side of the Gold Coast. It's been most unusual. We've been in a horrendous drought here, I can assure you of that. But at the same time, also hosting the district sides, which is districts from all over Queensland come down and play against each other to see who the Queensland champion is. So it's a wonderful 4 days of bowls, and it's really great to catch up with all of our country cousins who have been absolutely decimated up in the Townsville region with the cyclone and the floods that just had up there. It's a shame we couldn't share some of the water with them to take away their pain, but look forward to seeing all of the district sides on the Gold Coast in May. It's an event I always look forward to, and I always feel very privileged to host that event on the Gold Coast, Chris.
Our host clubs for that are Helensvale, Broadbeach, Musgrave Hill and Mermaid Beach.
Yes, so it should be a great 4 days of bowls, and of course the moment that's finished we go straight into the state titles, which also will be hosted at numerous clubs around the Gold Coast.
Yep, restart.
There'll be some great bowls on the Gold Coast over the next couple of years. camera switch.
Yeah, I can.
You can't.
I can't. Just carry on talking.
Yeah,
Still,
we just got a few problems here with some technical issues here, ladies and gentlemen. We just can't change the cameras just at this particular stage. As I said, if you look outside, it's blowing a gale, so we've got a few problems with the internet here, but things are going well, and we're doing the best we can to show you. And Aaron T's playing a great bowl here. Just trailed the kitty.
Aaron T's great shot there. So Sean Ingham on the backhand, just looking to draw inside a wing bowl. He's got a little bit of room. Just a nice draw shot here for Sean Ingham. Needs a bit of turning. His weight isn't too bad. It just needs a bit of turn, and he's going to catch the outside of the bowl. Not quite.
Yeah, Alex, we can't switch at the moment, mate. We've got a few technical issues, buddy.
So Aaron T's now on his backhand, on its way, and playing with confidence now is Aaron T's. He trots after this bowl, and he just needs to skirt around those ones. And how's he doing for weight, Brian?
Yeah, he's going to be there, mate. Great bowl there by Aaron T's.
Shot itself, so momentum just with the New South Wales side at the moment, and you'd think if they're going to have any chance of winning this match, they need a couple here.
Yes, it's still 52-45 to Queensland, so coming down to the skips now, and I can assure you that Nathan won't muck around. He's made his mind up and he's on the mat.
On the draw, Nathan Rice. Just needs to arc around that front stuff, which he looks like he's going to do. He's not a million miles away here. Just needs to run. Just needs to push here in a perfect track, Brian.
Beautiful line there, mate. Just a couple of foot short. That's all by the looks of that.
So New South Wales holding probably 2 or 3 at this stage.
Make it very interesting if Aaron can draw another couple here, that's for sure.
Grandstand finish, perhaps.
Because they've also got a couple of shots over there on Kurt Brown's rink by the looks of it.
Unbelievable.
Well, they've definitely got one shot by the looks of it.
Gee, a 4 or so here plus a 2 or so on the other rink really tightens things up.
It really makes it a very interesting game then, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
That's for sure.
Erin Wilson just needs to run past this bowl here, just needs to hurry. Maybe. So,
Kurt Brown's turned his back on his bowl.
interesting here. A shot change perhaps from Nathan Rice. Indication that sub-weight perhaps down on the forehand. And maybe that might be the shot to play if that last bowl of Nathan Rice is sort of got in his own way a little bit on the draw. So they're really having a good look at this head now. As you can see, the boys all crowded around the head as Nathan backtracks towards the mat. Big bowl here from Nathan Rice. Hard to tell if he's 2, 3, 4 down. 1 bowl each to come from the skippers.
One thing I can assure you, would never want to play cards against Nathan because you wouldn't know how he's feeling, Chris.
So he is playing with big weight down on the forehand, looking semi-interested in this. How's he going to go? He's got the jack! He's got the jack and he's killed it!
What a great bowl by Nathan, under extreme pressure.
Well, the way they've celebrated Queensland there suggests that they were probably 4 down with 1 to come there for Erin Wilson.
Absolutely incredible bowl because they picked up 3 on the rink beside by the looks of things there, Chris. So it's 24-12 to Kurt Brown against Ben Twist.
So just to give our viewers an insight into what's just happened here, if Nathan Rice had missed that shot, things could have been all tied up.
With a couple of ends to play.
With only a couple of ends left, so grandstand finish now.
You got an iPad?
So brilliant bowl from Nathan Rice, killing the end, and they've chosen to replay the end from the same end as what they started with, and Jaden Christie will have first hook at this. playing the 20th end, so this particular rink, they will go up and back.
Jaden, of course, just delivered his first bowl. And again, not too far away.
Matty Miles, former Australian under-25 representative, leading off for New South Wales. If you can see on your screen now, you can see in the little insert we have camera on the green, focusing on the other men's match, the Ben Twist versus Kurt Brown rink, and Mason Lewis at lead for New South Wales, drawing a front toucher there. They have also played 19 ends, so 4 ends to be played, 2 ends each. Is Jay Dorr, brilliant reply there. He's drawn onto that front toucher and got a good second. Jaden Christie just dropping short there, so reply here from Matty Miles. In the women's, we can see Brian, New South Wales out to a healthy lead now. 5 ends to be played in that particular game, and New South Wales 62, Queensland 48, so all but wrapped up for...
Looks that way over there, but the girls have put up an absolute wonderful fight over there. Done very well. Against a very, very strong New South Wales team.
Big win for the Kelsey Cottrell rink, 31 shots to 15.
Jimmy Anderson again played with great weight. Just a little bit of grass, something to correct on there, that's for sure.
Darren Brown, you're dead right, mate. Luckily they're not playing outside in a hurricane. Well, it was perhaps a logical decision, but a very wise one made by the hierarchy here to come and play inside, as we see Nathan Dawson draw a toucher here.
Something that was a bit of a change here, really, Chris, because you can actually see the New South Wales players are lifted so much, and they're actually giving their back end a pretty good start up front. And Queensland just starting to falter slightly with just still playing with good weight, but just maybe the wrong grass, or just pulling up a foot or so short, where before they were absolutely nailing it.
Absolutely, it's a funny thing, momentum and confidence and all that sort of the mental side of the game, isn't it, Brian?
Ever so true. And like there's Jimmy Anderson, who's played absolutely incredible bowls in the 3 test matches. He just put one just a couple of foot short, and that goes to show you just how easy it is. Now you'll see that down are they there? Probably 3 or 4 down. They're 4 down according to Erin Wilson. They've got 4 shots, so Queensland 4 down. We've Sean Ingham coming to the mat now to try and rectify things, so we'll have to see. I must admit Sean's got plenty of room to draw the shot, but he's playing on his forehand.
So not long to go now, but this is what it's all about now, isn't it? Sean Ingham, he's a player that likes to just get on the mat and get the bowl down the other end. And you can see the sweat's pouring off the forehand. He's wiping his bowl before he plays. He's taking an extra 5 or 10 seconds to play it. Pressure. It's not to say he can't handle the pressure. He's not far away here, Sean Ingham. Just needs to get down. He's just copped the wrong side of that bowl, and they're still holding probably 3 or 4 here in New South Wales. 2 days of bowls, 3 tests, all coming down to this, Brian, right down to the wire.
I could understand Sean playing that hand because he was comfortable with it and he felt good, but quite realistically, to get shot there, you've got to play the perfect bowl, Chris. Where he played that on the backhand, he could have set 2 bowls and got second shot. So, it's a game of what's the easiest way to cut down. And
I understand what you're saying, Brian, and conversely, Aaron Tees he's not now got a free run on the backhand, and he's correct. Just able to draw a shot with ease, whereas Sean Ingham Is he now committed to playing that same side? Is that bowl in his road? Could he use that bowl?
I think he'd have to come to the backhand now, because I said if he even sits those back bowls there, which is an option, he's got 2 or 3 options to get second shot on the backhand, where
Well, as you've said,
he has to play the perfect bowl. So
as you've said, he could have played that shot with his first bowl,
he's
but
still going to play his forehand. Well, or whatever you're comfortable with out there, my friend. You know, as simple as that.
he wasn't a million miles away. If he was a bowl inside his last, he could have got inside that down for shot or second shot. He's how's this one looking? He's trumpeting in towards a jack. And he's got probably second shot with that one. So a good result, good bowl from Shawningham.
He got second shot there, which is a great bowl.
Pretty disciplined, because it would have been easy, as you say, just to, slide on past and suddenly you're 4 down again. Whereas on the other hand, he probably had a couple of backup options to sit on.
Yeah, ever so true. But, I
So
can tell
good-
you right now that over on Kurt Brown's rink, that with Kurt and Ben Twist to play, by looks of things, I would say that Queensland's down possibly 2.
We can tell you in the New South Wales under 25 men, New South Wales versus Queensland. Queensland have run out at least 33 shots to 15 with another end to be put up there, so a healthy win to the Queensland men in the under 25s. Aaron T's now drawing on his forehand. Aaron T's, he's probably got another shot there. He's got 2, so 2 to New South Wales on the Erin Wilson, Nathan Rice rink.
And on Kurt Brown's rink, it'd be New South Wales holding shot there by the looks of it.
Well, Ben Twist has come down and got seriously unlucky.
They're trying to set that yellow bowl out of the head there, Chris.
Robbie.
So Nathan's let his bowl go, coming down the back end.
Too bad, we're just watching.
So we're on to the Kurt Brown rink as we see Kurt Brown draw the shot cold.
So if you just let them know we're having still a problem. We've got that.
So Ben Twist has probably 1 second, possibly 2, and he's 1 down to a jack high bowl from Kurt Brown.
And just to let ladies and gentlemen know, we are having still in this very late stage of the day, we are having technical issues here.
Ben Twist needs to get down, and he's plucked that ball out clean as a whistle. So Kurt Brown, no mucking around. He's got about 40 or 50 centimetres to draw the shot here. He did it with his previous bowl. On the mat, on his forehand, nothing in his road, all down to weight. Brett Wilkie getting interested in this. Does he have... Kurt Brown needs to run. Kurt Brown's drawn the shot. Great shot from Kurt Brown, playing out of the host club, Tweed Heads. So 1 shot to Kurt Brown. Queensland 24, New South Wales 13, with 1 end to be played.
But I can assure you that Erin Wilson just played a great bowl there, and he's got quite a few shots there. 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 shots by the looks of it. With Nathan got 1 bowl to play.
As we welcome in Jack Kellett Smoke, as we see the just getting our cameras fixed to as we go into the final ends. So Kurt Brown, Ben Twist on their final end. Kurt Brown 25, Ben Twist 12, playing the last end, and 1 bowl to be played here on the Erin Wilson, Nathan Rice rink. The result of after this bowl will determine what the equation will be going into the last 2 ends for both these rinks. Erin Wilson playing with weight down on the forehand, doesn't like it. So it looks like 3 to New South Wales. 3 down, so 3 to New South Wales, which makes the score 21-9, playing the last end on that particular rink.
Aaron Tees just gave an indication there, Chris, that bowl was worth 6 shots. So it was worth 6 shots. They're having a bit of discussion here.
So just for all your viewers out there, the score is 56-50. So the maths is 6 shots over 2 ends to tie things up for New South Wales. 56-50 with 2 ends to play in favour of Queensland.
Jay Dawes over there from Kiwana Club on the Sunshine Coast just played 2 great lead bowls. So holding 2 shots on that rink there at this stage. So the head at this stage favouring the Queensland team. Stephen Tong stepping on the mat now, deliver his bowl.
Stephen Tong on his forehand with the yellow and green speckled Henselite XGs. It looks to be a fairly good bowl from Stephen Tong, just nestling in just behind the jack. It's not a bad bowl as a second when you're holding 2 on it. Yeah,
it's a great bowl there, that's for sure, Chris. I mean, all they really got to do, quite realistically, is score this end, don't they? I mean, they don't have to look for numbers.
Absolutely.
They're not chasing shots. All they're doing is just looking to consolidate.
Absolutely. So, Erin Wilson just taking his time here, and barring any killed ends on the Kurt Brown rink, it'll be the Erin Wilson, Nathan Rice rinks will have the final bowl. So 6 shots over 2 ends is the equation.
Steve Tong's delivered his bowl. Coming down, of course, Erin Wilson scored T to T basically, Chris, so it's a very good tactic that. And Steve once again has got a back bowl, so looking pretty good.
Well, just putting it out there, Brian, the last time that we did a live stream in Tweed Heads, we had an absolute grandstand finish in the state championships of the pennant finals.
That's correct, we did do too.
Helens Vale versus Inaugurate came down to extra ends in the
certainly did
men's and ladies.
Yes, there's been some great bowls played down here.
So if New South Wales are going to tie things up here, they need 6 shots over 2 ends. And Queensland currently holding the ascendancy on this particular rink.
Just played an incredible lead bowl, resting toucher. Can't get much better than that, Chris. Last end.
Absolutely. So not too sure if you can see that on our screens right now, but on the Jaden Christie led rink for Nathan Rice, Jaden Christie has drawn a front toucher on a full-length end. So Queensland 6 in front with 2 ends to play, holding shots on both the rinks. As we welcome in Ryan Burnett, Scottish international, Jaime Nordoff.
So Jaime, of course, plays for the strong Victoria Point, and Ryan, of course, from strong Broadbeach Club. So
Jaden Christie looking just to nestle in behind here, as you can see that bowl come into view.
And what a great bowl that is. Nestled in just there. Good to see the under-25s now reaping the rewards of their hard-earned day's work. The future generation of bowls in Queensland, ladies and gentlemen, drinking Coca-Cola. Great bowl there from New South Wales. I think it may still be Queensland we've shot though with Jaden Christie. But it's very close. Jimmy Anderson stepping on the mat now. I'm sure Jimmy won't be short. He goes through the same routine every time.
So what you're hopefully seeing on your screen now in the insert is the final end of the Nathan Rice Erin Wilson game in the insert, and on the main part of your screen is the Kurt Brown Ben Twist final end. So it's made shot there from Carl Healy, has turned that bowl over onto the jack, and New South Wales holding 1. Look, a decision will have to be made here soon, Brian, that if they're going to be holding 1 on both ends, that of course is a total of 2, which is less than 6. So will they see killed ends here soon? Great shot there. Nathan Dawson has stuck the key into the ditch and made a number. Well, we just spoke about making a decision about weight to be played, and they've made a decision there.
Can you go and move them out of the way, please? Just tell them to piss off. Can't see a thing.
Oh,
can't see a thing. Jimmy Anderson's on the mat now. Obviously, New South Wales just played a great bowl. They're holding 3 shots.
So Jimmy Anderson looking to cut it down, needs to stay on the green, just needs to sit now. His line is perfect, just needs to stay on. Is he going to stay on? He's stayed on. He's drawn second shot.
What an incredible bowl that by Jimmy Anderson.
He's about half a bowl off the lip of the ditch.
And it just goes to show you like how well he has played his last bowl, Chris, under extreme pressure. Everybody watching, people everywhere. And he just drew an absolute gem of a shot. You don't get much better than that. I'm sure Erin will be chasing this bowl.
I don't know where it is. Where would I find the... Yeah. Way across there. Launch pad. Yeah.
Very tense with everybody standing around their head at the moment. The pressure's really on these players, Chris.
Absolutely. This is what you play bowls for, playing for your state, all coming down to the final end. Hundreds of people watching indoors at Tweed Heads. Aaron Tees needs to sit this bowl into the ditch, playing with controlled weight, just needs to get an arc down onto the bowl. He's not going to turn enough.
Wonderful try there, though, Chris. He didn't miss it by much, really, did he? You know what I mean?
Look, he was on a fairly good track. You know, he probably just, if he dropped a metre of weight, a metre or 2 of weight, he could have just got a bit more bite down into that, but they've got 3 more cracks at it. So Ben Twist has moved the jack here, as you can see on the screen, and that's made things interesting. They probably hold 3 or 4 there. So Shawningham now drawing, looking to finish somewhere near the lip of the ditch.
I think he's a bit quick, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just going to be a touch quick on it. On a pretty good track there, Shawningham.
A social bowler would be very happy with that bowl, Chris, because their bowl's gone very close to their bowls bag on the last end, mate.
It has. Very happy with that. So Aaron Tees has taken all the weight off here, and he's going to be very disappointed with that effort. Not reaching.
Well, quite realistically, Chris, to be truthful with you, they actually be able to remove that bowl. That bowl of his will count. Like they'd have one.
Just not so sure about the yellow one. Doesn't beat the yellow one.
Yeah, sorry, that yellow one is Jaden's, that's correct there. Curdy Brown played a good bowl there, just sitting jack high. Maybe second shot, maybe not.
So Shawningham now needs to drop around about 1.5 metres of weight, and he's certainly dropped some weight here. He's not bad here at all. Anything past those yellow and grey bowls together will certainly help. Just needs one more run. It's a very good bowl from Shawningham.
Great bowl by Shawningham there. Very good bowl there by Shawn. Wonderful correction on his second bowl. All he had to do was beat those bowls, Chris, and achieved his gold.
All he's really done is cut one out, but one could be significant if
Yes.
Erin Wilson plays a bomb.
Ever so true. What happened over there?
So shake hands time over
25-14 on 21 ends to Kurt Brown.
to Erin Wilson, needing to sit the bowl into the ditch and stay. He seems to have pretty decent weight here. Erin Wilson's not bad here if he can get around that bowl, but he doesn't, and he's pumped up another one in for
Very unlucky there, Aaron. He's under extreme pressure to play that.
He's probably got the narrowest of ports down underneath that last bowl that he's pumped up, and Nathan Rice will be looking to make things as difficult as he possibly can by adding another, but he's into the ditch.
Nathan, I think, struggling a little bit there, my friend.
So there is a narrow hole. There is a port about 1.5 bowls wide that Erin Wilson needs to come down underneath the blue bowl with the maroon sticker. Underneath that blue, that's about 40 centimetres short of the ditch.
And while we're all here and you can see the people watching, ladies and gentlemen, on the ladies' rink, it's a win to New South Wales on 63 ends, Queensland 52, New South Wales 66. So congratulations to the New South Wales ladies. Very well done. Very hard fought Test series. It was very, very good.
So probably only one bowl to be played in this entire series, so we'll give a last shout out to our sponsors. Thanks to Bowls Queensland and this live stream being made available to you by the Queensland Government, Mullins Lawyers, BCIB Insurance Brokers, Henselite, Club Super and Nunda Mitsubishi, as well as Niagara Therapy.
So Aaron's calling, Aaron Teaser's calling Erin Wilson on a shot to try and get both those bowls out. Can't see him getting both of them out without taking another bowl out there, but who knows? Anything can happen in line bowls. He said, okay, here's your chance. Let's see how we go.
So he's looking to he's going to play with a little bit more weight here, trying to look to remove both the bowls and stay.
He's playing with very good weight here, Chris.
Just needs to get around the front here. He's close here. He's close, Erin Wilson, and he's shaved off. He shaved off the Shawningham bowl. There was only a centimetre or two in that. He was seriously close, Erin Wilson, but we can tell you that the Queensland men have wrapped up the series 2 tests to 1.
Great last bowl there. Unlucky for Aaron. He just caught that short bowl and just missed it. But a wonderful series. Hearty congratulations to the Queensland side. Very, very, very well done. Hopefully we might be able to grab one of the players, if I possibly can, to maybe get an interview with one of the players. If you'd like to stay here and interview him, Chris.
Oh, no problems, Brian.
You want me to bring it up and take it away?
So handshakes all round, high fives all round. The Queensland men running out winners here at Tweed Heads, and the New South Wales women have taken out their Test Series 2 tests to 1. So New South Wales women, Queensland men. So handshakes all round, high fives and team meetings. Fantastic couple of days bowls here at Tweed Heads. Of course, we will be bringing you many more live streams of events around the Gold Coast district. Don't forget to get your entries in for the Easter Open Prestige Singles at Musgrave Hill. The Asia Pacific Championships will be held here right on the Gold Coast. Club Helensvale, Broadbeach and Musgrave Hill. The Premier League Queensland Finals will be live streamed. The Gold Coast District Mixed Pairs Championships. But a great couple of days bowls here at Tweed Heads. And as we've said, we must thank our sponsors who have made this possible. Mullins Lawyers, BCIB Insurance, Henselite, Nunda Mitsubishi, Club Super and the Queensland Government. So we're about to be joined by Queensland skipper Nathan Rice, if he would like to take a seat next to me. So Nathan, congratulations. Tough battle there. Your rinks got up 21 shots to 10, but it's not about you, it's about the overall, mate. Talk us through the final couple of ends there.
Yeah, well, obviously we just had to keep it tight. They were coming hard at us, as we expected, so we just had to try and hang in there. Lucky enough, Big Jimmy played a big bomb there, all through down there. Crucial time, Jimmy played a big bowl to get the second shot. And lucky enough to stay there, so I'm just proud of the boys. We hung in there. Obviously, like you said, it's overall board, and we just kept in front and fight to the finish. So
It just felt like halfway through the match you could see the pain on the New South Wales boys' faces. They weren't playing poorly at all, but they were missing things by a bowl. Jaden Christie from the start was putting them under massive pressure.
he did. Oh, that's where it starts up front. If your lead's going great, that's where it all starts. So, I'm proud of the boys. We hung in there, and we had a lot of fun, which helps. And it's great to get the shield back.
Moving into the indoor, imperative to get that centre line dominance, nailing that centre line, getting back to the jack.
It is, it's a great service, and if you can nail it, it definitely puts you on the front foot. And like I said, Jaden was just nailing the jack and put them on the back foot, so it was fantastic.
You boys look like you complemented each other all the way through, though. Jimmy Anderson playing some awesome stuff.
Like I said, it was our first time together, and Jimmy just fitted in great. He's full of enthusiasm and all that, and play well too. So, like I said, just had a lot of fun with the boys, and that's a key. Well,
congratulations on your victory, mate, and your selection in the Jackaroos.
Thanks,
all the best to the
Chris.
Queensland side for the Sides Championships coming up in a couple of months. The presentations are going on at the moment, so we'll let you go and join your teammates.
Got it, Chris.
Cheers,
Got it, buddy. Well done.
So that wraps things up here from Tweed Heads as the presentations are going on in the background. So thank you very much for joining us, and stick with us another time. Keep your notifications going live when the Gold Coast District and Bowls Queensland goes live. Thanks for joining us from Tweed Heads.